Chapter 651. Ning Shu gave the USB flash drive to the jury, which contained some important information. The jury plugged the USB flash drive into the computer and clicked on the video. The whole court was filled with the sound of the computer. It was a video of Jing Shao's mother telling Yi Shi to get pregnant quickly so that Yi Shi could sleep with her son. She even said that the child would be Ni Jing's and that the child would inherit the Jing family. The child would also have a rich family. There was also a video of Jing Shao's giving Yi Shi money to keep her. The Ni family had already seen the video beforehand, but they were so angry that their faces turned red when they heard these shameless words. The reporters in the gallery were going crazy. They didn't expect to encounter such a melodramatic surrogacy scandal. This kind of scandal was the most attractive. The Jing family was stunned. Jing Shao's father frowned. He seemed to have aged a lot in an instant. He had been in the business world for half his life, but he didn't expect that he would be defeated by a woman who couldn't rise up. Jing Shao's father didn't care about Ni Jing at all. What could a woman do? He couldn't handle the situation if he didn't pay attention. Jing Shao's mother's face was like a palette, especially when the reporters kept taking photos of her. She hated Ning Shu to the core. Jing Shao's didn't come back to his senses for a long time. He looked at Ning Shu in a daze as if he was looking at a stranger. How can you do this? How can you do this to me? Jing Shao's thought that he still loved Ni Jing, but now he felt betrayed. Ning Shu's expression was indifferent. Then how did you treat me? Jing Shao's scratched his head frantically. But you didn't say anything to me. You, why should I tell you? What was the big deal? It was better to hit the nail on the head. Ning Shu knew that he was in poor health. If he was killed by the Jing family, the mission would be over. Speaking of which, the Jing family didn't care about Ni Jing and ignored her feelings, which allowed Ning Shu to have the opportunity to take photos of these things. If they were a little more careful and cautious, Ning Shu would have a much harder time getting these things. I request for an adjournment. Jing Shao's gritted his teeth and said, his whole body trembling. Ning Shu indifferently said, I refuse to mediate. I'll report it to the higher-ups. Jing Shao's couldn't control his emotions. He stood up, pointed at Ning Shu and roared, do you have to be like this? Do you think you'll feel better if both sides suffer? Ning Shu nodded. Very comfortable. You were comfortable before, but now it's my turn to be comfortable. Jing Shao's expression was ferocious. He was so angry that his lips turned purple, and his body trembled uncontrollably with fear. Jing Shao's lawyer saw that Jing Shao was agitated and hurriedly said, Your Honor, my lawyer requests that the court adjourn for mediation. My lawyer is not feeling well right now. Please take a break. The judge banged his gavel. Court is adjourned for an hour. Mother and I hurriedly brought some water to Ning Shu. Drink some water. Can you still hold on? Ni Yanchao asked. I'm fine. Although she was a little out of breath after talking too much, going to court was not an argument. It was not a big deal. Ni Jing, you greedy and vicious woman. You still want 200 million yuan? Is your body worth 200 million yuan? Jing Shao's mother shouted at Ning Shu. The Jing family must have had 8 lifetimes of bad luck to marry a woman like you. You turn around and stab your in-laws in the back. Who would dare to marry a woman like you? Then what about the filthy things you've done? The Jing family married a woman who pimps. A woman who treats the Jing family as a den of prostitution must have had 8 lifetimes of bad luck. Ning Shu said unhurriedly. By the way, now that your son is infertile, your husband is looking for a surrogate mother. I hope you won't meet a surrogate mother like Yi Shi. Ning Shu said with a smile. Do you think it's that easy to get a child conceived naturally? Jing Shao's mother was so angry that her face trembled. She pointed at Ning Shu. You're a sharp-tongued and vicious woman. Jing Shao's mother stretched out her hand to hit Ning Shu, but Ni Yen grabbed her wrist and shook her hand off. Do you think you can hit the Ni family as you wish? Enough, stop it. Jing Shao's father scolded with a dark face. After yelling at his wife, Jing Shao's father looked at Ning Shu and said, This is my fault. As the head of the family, I can't absolve myself from the blame for what happened. You knew it, but you acquiesced. Ning Shu said indifferently. I'm a fool in the Jing family, a fool who was played by your family of 3. I won't back down in this matter. I want a divorce certificate and 200 million yuan for psychological damage. Jing Shao's father's face turned ugly. He said coldly, You really won't back down? I won't back down. What's the point of scaring my daughter? This lawsuit will continue. Ai Yan's father pushed Ning Shu behind him. Don't forget that your son is still guilty of prostitution. He'll be detained for 3 months to half a year. I'm telling you, this matter won't end like this. At worst, we'll destroy each other. Look at your wife's daydreaming. She wants to give birth to an illegitimate child who can inherit the Jing family. Who knows, he might even inherit the Ni family. She's dreaming. Why don't she keep dreaming? Ai Yan's father said bitterly. Jing Shao's father rubbed his forehead. His face was extremely ugly. He looked at Ning Shu and said, We can divorce and we can give you 200 million yuan, but you have to give the shares of the Jing family to the Jing family. Jing Shao's father's lips trembled when he mentioned the 200 million yuan. Even with the Jing family's wealth, they couldn't take it out so suddenly. Ning Shu smiled gently and said, These shares are premarital property. They belong to me. You have no right to ask for them. In order to show their sincerity, the Jing family gave him 1% of the shares and Ai Yan's father gave the shares to Ni Jing. Ni Jing's name was also written on the shares transfer certificate. Jing Shao's father had his eyes on the Ni family's sales channels. Moreover, his son liked Ni Jing, so he took advantage of the situation. 1% of the shares in exchange for a profitable cooperation opportunity with the Ni family. Later, he found out that Ni Jing married with the shares, so the shares were safely in Ni Jing's hands. Besides, I've already transferred the shares to someone else. Ning Shu said coldly. Jing Shao's father's face was gloomy. Ning Shu ignored his expression. It was transferred to Director Li. Director Li must have a lot of shares in his hands. I'll never divorce. Jing Shao's looked at Ning Shu with disgust. You clearly know Director Li's ambition, but you still transferred the shares to him. Ai Jing, you're too vicious. Jing Shaoze naturally knew the situation of his company. Director Li's shares were close to the Jing families. If he had more, the Jing family would be replaced. Knowing that Ning Shu had transferred the shares to Director Li, which was helping the enemy, the only warmth he had for his wife disappeared. Chapter 652. Jing Shaoze felt that Ai Jing had never regarded herself as a member of the Jing family, that's why she could do such a disgraceful thing. I really misjudged you, Ai Jing. You can take revenge on me if you hate me, but have you ever thought that the company would fall into the hands of Director Li? Jing Shao's face was distorted. Ning Shu smiled gently. What does it have to do with me? Jing Shaoze saw the smile on Ning Shu's face and felt that it was extremely dazzling. He liked Ai Jing's smile the most. It was gentle and beautiful, but it was also very beautiful and gentle. But now, Jing Shaoze wanted to tear off this face to vent the anger and hatred in his heart. I won't divorce you even if I die. Let's see who can drag it out longer. Jing Shaoze said angrily, Neither of us will have a good time. Ning Shu didn't care. He spread out his hands and said, I don't care. If I can't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. If I can't do it in a week, I'll do it in a month. If I can't do it in a month, I'll do it in half a year. If I can't do it in half a year, then I'll do it in a year. I don't care. I have endless fun with people. I don't need to work. My parents will support me and my brother will support me. I have plenty of time. Ning Shu said indifferently, but you'll have to be detained for more than half a month. But don't worry, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you to come back and divorce me. Oh, and your mother forced me to do it. She'll also be detained. Ning Shu's words angered the Jing family so much that their faces turned blue. Jing Shao's mother clutched her chest as if she had a heart attack. You must do this, right? Jing Shao's father looked at Ning Shu. Is this good for your reputation? You're so vengeful. Who would want you after you leave the Jing family? You should be lenient when you can. Do women have to get married? Ning Shu said faintly, Even if I don't get married, I'll still live a good life. I can go wherever I want and live freely. I won't meet such a disgusting husband's family like yours. In my husband's family, I have to look at others' faces. After I get married, I have to look at men's faces. I have to look at men's faces. I have to show filial piety to my parents-in-law who have never raised me for even a day or fed me. Jing Shao's father was speechless. The 1-hour break for mediation quickly passed. Ning Shu refused to back down and demanded 200 million yuan as compensation for emotional distress. Jing Shaozi, on the other hand, was determined not to divorce her. The amount of money involved in this lawsuit was very large. In addition, the plaintiff and the defendant refused to back down. The deadlock forced the court to adjourn for a while. At the same time, it also gave the two families time to mediate. The divorce proceedings were put on hold, but Jing Shaozi's crime of engaging in prostitution was established. It was a crime of disrupting public order and he would be fined and detained for a period of time. Furthermore, Jing Shaozi's mother would also be detained for coercing others into prostitution. Jing Shaozi's father naturally wouldn't allow his wife and child to be detained. He paid the fine and bailed them out. The reporter quickly pressed the shutter. The next day's newspaper would be all about the feud between the rich and powerful. The Jing family's reputation was extremely bad, especially Jing Shaozi's mother, who was rarely seen in this world. However, the reporter was more disappointed that the surrogate mother did not come. According to the clues, Yi Shi was also discovered by the reporter. Yi Shi was called the most expensive surrogate mother by the media. Yi Shi was kept as a mistress by Jing Shaozi and all she did every day was wait for Jing Shaozi to come over. She didn't know what happened at all. Yi Shi only found out about it when her family called her. Yi Shi was instantly stunned. She didn't expect that she would be secretly photographed by Jing Shaozi's wife. When they returned home, father and I said to Ning Shu, "Isn't 200 million yuan a little too much? In my opinion, the divorce is the most important thing." "It's okay. They won't be able to hold on for long," Ning Shu said faintly. With such a scandal in the Jing family, this scandal would be brought up every time they went to court. The longer it dragged on, the greater the blow to the Jing family's reputation. Moreover, it would also give the ambitious people in the company, such as Director Li, something to use against them. This scandal was repeatedly brought up and the news couldn't be stopped. The Jing family was the one who suffered losses. It would also affect the company's operations and the company's stock price. Jing Shaozi, who had calmed down, also realized that not divorcing for a long time would hurt him even more. In court, he was so angry that he said that he wouldn't divorce even if he died. Jing Shaozi was a businessman. Even in the most unfavorable situation, he had to ensure the least loss. 200 million yuan would never be given to Ni Jing. How could she dare to ask for 200 million yuan? She wasn't worth 200 million yuan. Jing Shaozi subconsciously looked down on the crazy Ni Jing. Jing Shaozi wanted to talk to Ning Shu, but Ning Shu ignored him and blocked all his contact information. Jing Shaozi could only find someone to wait near the Ni family's house. As long as Ning Shu went out and reported to him, he would be able to see Ning Shu. Sometimes Ning Shu would go out for a walk. She couldn't stay at home all the time. However, as soon as she went out, Jing Shaozi followed her and said that he wanted to talk about the compensation. Jing Shaozi meant that the divorce was okay, but it couldn't be 200 million yuan for mental damage. Ning Shu's attitude was very firm. 200 million yuan, not a cent less. She wasn't afraid of a lawsuit. Just like Jing Shaozi said, they would see who could endure who. Jing Shaozi looked at the face in front of him and a murderous aura rose in his heart. He really wanted to break this woman's neck. Ning Shu naturally saw the murderous aura in Jing Shaozi's eyes. She took her handbag and slammed it on Jing Shaozi's face. Then, she turned around and got into the car to go home. Ning Shu noticed that there were people watching near the Ni family's house and directly called the police. Ning Shu said to the police, "Jing Shaozi hired people to kill me. This way, he won't have to divorce and compensate 200 million yuan for mental damage." The police arrested a few people who were monitoring Ning Shu and went to confront Jing Shaozi. When Jing Shaozi heard Ning Shu's accusation, he was so angry that he was about to explode. He really wanted to kill this woman now. Jing Shaoze repeatedly told the police that he sent these people just to find out when Ni Jing went out. He just wanted to talk to Ni Jing. In any case, Jing Shaoze hired people to follow Ning Shu with ulterior motives. The more he explained, the worse the situation became. Ni Yen transferred a few security guards from the company to the Ni family's house to protect Ning Shu's safety. At the same time, he asked the police to pay more attention to Jing Shaoze. Jing Shaoze had a motive to kill. If something happened to his sister, Jing Shaoze would be the prime suspect, along with the rest of the Jing family. In this way, Jing Shaoze couldn't hire people to spy on the Ni family. He also couldn't find out about Ning Shu's situation, let alone see Ning Shu. Jing Shaoze originally wanted to negotiate before the next court hearing. Now, he was labeled with the intention to murder his wife. He couldn't even see Ning Shu's face. Okay, she wants 200 million yuan. Give her 200 million yuan. Jing Shaoze's father said indifferently, "Dad, why do you give it to her? 200 million yuan is too much." Jing Shaoze disagreed. But it's not that easy to get 200 million yuan. A woman who can't give birth wants so much money. Jing Shaoze's father said coldly. Chapter 653. Since the divorce case, Yishi had been staying in the house and did not dare to go out. As soon as she went out, people would point fingers at her and whisper that she was shameless. They said that she was a mistress and slept with another woman's husband under her wife's nose. Although it did not reach the point of being beaten up, it still caused some trouble for Yishi. Yishi bit her lips tightly. Her life had fallen to the lowest point. Nothing could be worse than now. Yishi did not expect that the gentle Ni Jing would be so ruthless and tolerant. She did not say anything even when she had evidence in her hands. Yishi called Jing Shaoze and wanted him to accompany her. She was really helpless now. Her relatives blamed her for not loving herself. They said that they only asked her to be a surrogate and did not ask her to prostitute herself. However, they did not know that money was so easy to get. She did it for the company, for her father's company. Now, they blamed her for tarnishing her family's reputation. Forget it. This time, she would treat it as repaying their kindness for raising her. In the future, she would live for herself. When Yishi called Jing Shaoze was still thinking of ways to not pay 200 million yuan. When he received Yishi's call, Jing Shaoze was very impatient and asked Yishi to stay in the house. Jing Shaoze was very angry with Yishi. She did not know that someone had installed a camera in her room. After returning from the court, Jing Shaoze went to Yishi's room to look for the camera but found that it was no longer there. Jing Shaoze was so angry that he smashed everything in the house. Jing Shaoze's heart turned cold. He never knew that his wife was such a person. She knew that he had cheated on her, but she did not say anything and acted as if nothing had happened. Jing Shaoze put himself in her shoes. If Ni Jing had cheated on him, he would never be so calm. When Yishi heard Jing Shaoze's impatient words, she covered her mouth and cried. Finally, she raised her head and forced her tears back. "In that case, I won't bother you anymore." Yishi hung up the phone and began to pack her luggage. She could not stay here any longer. If she left, she would cut off everything. Yishi packed her luggage and put the house key on the coffee table. She glanced at the whole house. Since her father's company had a problem, she had encountered a disaster in her life. Jing Shaoze was that disaster. The door suddenly opened. Jing Shaoze, who had said that he wouldn't come, suddenly appeared at the door. Yishi looked at Jing Shaoze in a daze, and a subtle joy surged from the bottom of her heart. Even she herself did not realize that she was eager to see Jing Shaoze. Jing Shaoze frowned with an ugly expression. When he saw the suitcase, he walked up to Yishi and questioned, "Where are you going?" Yishi looked at Jing Shaoze, her eyes scanning his face as if she wanted to engrave his appearance in her heart. "You've lost weight recently," Yishi muttered. Jing Shaoze grabbed Yishi's arm. "I'm asking you, where are you going? Don't forget that you're my woman now. It's all because of me that you're in such a dilemma. I want to get out of this twisted relationship." Yishi said tiredly, "Jing Shaoze, let me go and let yourself go. Let's break up." "Let you go? Sure, but give me back the money I gave you before and I'll let you go." Jing Shaoze's eyes were evil. I don't have so much money to give you. I took all the money you gave me home and gave it to my father. Yi, she exclaimed, her eyes widening. She bit her lip and said, I'll pay you back. Pay me back? How are you going to pay me back? Jing Shaozi softened his expression and said, Be good and stay by my side. Don't go anywhere. Let's get married. What did you say? Yi, she looked at Jing Shaozi in shock. Get married? Jing Shaozi said seriously, Let's get married. I'll give you a grand wedding ceremony. We really love each other, and you're not a third party. What about Enai Jing? Yi Shi's expression was one of astonishment and disbelief. She never thought that she could marry Jing Shaozi. She thought that she would always hide in the corner and secretly watch Jing Shaozi. Enai Jing, this woman is extremely vicious. I must divorce her. When Jing Shaozi spoke of Ning Shu, his face was ferocious and full of hatred. I never thought that she would be such a greedy, vicious, and selfish person. But will your parents agree? Yi Shi asked with some uncertainty. Jing Shaozi pinched Yi Shi's nose. Don't worry about this. You don't need to worry about these things. What you need to do now is to stay here and wait for me to marry you. Become my wife, and we'll grow old together. Okay. Yi Shi cried with joy. She loved Jing Shaozi as a person, and it had nothing to do with his family background. Even if Jing Shaozi was infertile, Yi Shi still loved him. Jing Shaozi carried Yi Shi and went to the bedroom. Yi Shi wrapped her arms around Jing Shaozi's neck, as obedient as a kitten. The second court session was held, and the Ni family arrived at the entrance of the court with several security guards. Compared with the lively atmosphere on Ning Shu's side, Jing Shaozi's side looked shabby. There were only Jing Shaozi and his defense lawyer. Jing Shaozi's parents did not come this time. When Jing Shaozi saw Ning Shu, his face was full of indifference and his eyes were full of disgust. He sneered and said, You want 200 million yuan? Aren't you afraid of dying from overeating? I'm willing to die from overeating, Ning Shu said with a smile. Looking at the smile on Ning Shu's face, Jing Shaozi wanted to tear off his face. This hypocritical smile was so disgusting that he wanted to vomit. When they entered the trial room, Ning Shu sat in the plaintiff's seat while Jing Shaozi sat opposite him in the defendant's seat. The trial began, and Ning Shu's request remained unchanged. Divorce and 200 million yuan for damages. Jing Shaozi sneered. Aren't you thinking too highly of yourself? You want 200 million yuan? In our marriage, you haven't fulfilled the responsibilities and obligations of a wife at all. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and asked, How have I failed to fulfill the responsibilities and obligations of a wife? Because of our health, we rarely have sex. Even if I went to find another woman, it would be pardonable. Jing Shaozi looked at Ning Shu and said sarcastically, You still think you're worth 200 million yuan. Ning Shu, TSK, 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 what an ugly face. Now, it was her fault and he was pushing all the blame onto her. He even had a reason for having an affair. She really wanted to vomit when she saw how he acted as if it was only right. Ning Shu sneered and took out the USB flash drive. He said faintly, You've never fulfilled the responsibilities and obligations of a husband. Since Yi Shi came to the Jing family, we haven't had sex. And you sneak into Yi Shi's room every night in the middle of the night. Do you want to see it? I've recorded all these. Every day and time is recorded in the book. Ning Shu waved the USB flash drive in his hand. A lot. Chapter 654. You went to find other women, yet you blame me for not fulfilling my duty as a wife. Ning Shu sneered. Why did women have to marry? After marriage, there were no obligations. Jing Shaozi spent money to visit Enai Jing, but now he was talking about obligations to his wife. He even complained that Enai Jing was not in good health and did not enjoy himself enough. He was really despicable. To be honest, the money Jing Shaozi spent on his wife was not as much as he spent on Yi Shi. The mistress lived a very comfortable life, but the wife used responsibility and obligation to satisfy her. Do you want me to play this? Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaozi coldly. You are a man without any sense of responsibility. You have fulfilled your duty as a husband to your wife. Jing Shaoze looked at the USB flash drive in Ning Shu's hand and said coldly, "You have violated my privacy rights. These things can't be used as evidence." Ning Shu faintly said, "As your wife, I have the right to know about you. You're not loyal to this marriage. You're the one in the wrong. You'll have to pay 200 million yuan for mental damage." Jing Shaoze took a deep breath and clenched his fists. He looked at Ning Shu and said, "Your greed and viciousness are really disgusting. You also make me feel disgusted. You can't control your lower body and you can't have children," Ning Shu said coldly. Jing Shaoze trembled with anger. Ning Shu rolled her eyes. Out of the corner of her eyes, she saw a person wearing a hat and a mask sitting in the audience. It was such a hot day, but she was covered from head to toe. Was she not afraid of the heat? Noticing Ning Shu's gaze, the fully armed person immediately lowered her head. There was only one person who lowered her head. He did not expect Yi Shi to secretly come to the gallery. Ning Shu withdrew his gaze and looked at the judge. He said, "Judge, I request a forced divorce. Jing Shaoze and I have no feelings for each other. It is impossible for us to live together anymore." Ning Shu looked at Ning Shu and pointed at the gallery. Jing Shaoze followed Ning Shu's finger and saw Yi Shi sitting in the gallery. Since Ning Shu could recognize Yi Shi, Jing Shaoze could naturally recognize the person beside his bed. Jing Shaoze glared at Ning Shu and finally said with difficulty, "I agree to the divorce." After saying this, Jing Shaoze seemed to have lost all his strength. He viciously threatened Ning Shu, "A windfall from the sky, you have to be careful. It doesn't matter. In any case, if something happens to me, you're the prime suspect." Ning Shu said indifferently, "Don't worry, I'll generously spend the money you gave me." Jing Shaoze was so angry that his temples bulged and his forehead swelled. This woman was really hateful. The judge announced the result of the trial and everyone stood up. The judge announced that Ning Shu and Jing Shaoze were divorcing and that Jing Shaoze had to compensate his divorced wife 200 million yuan for mental damage. The reporters kept taking photos of Ning Shu. From this moment on, Ning Shu was a rich woman. The compensation of 200 million yuan was enough for her to squander for the rest of her life. Ning Shu smiled. After coming out of the court, Ning Shu and Jing Shaoze went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get a divorce. Soon, the two of them had a green divorce certificate in each hand. Ning Shu smiled gently. "You'd better hurry up with my compensation. If you don't have enough cash, you can give me the shares of the Jing family. I can accept it." "You want the shares of the Jing family? Dream on," Jing Shaoze said sarcastically. "And I, Jing, don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. If you want to get your hands on the Jing family's company, you'll have to get my permission first." Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaoze from the corner of her eyes. "It's not even your turn to inherit the Jing family's company. Isn't your father looking for a surrogate? Your role is to protect this company and run it well, then make room for your brother. And I, Jing, no matter what you say, I won't care. Because your Jing family is malicious, I won't fall for your trick." Jing Shaoze's face was cold, but his hands behind his back were clenched into fists, the veins on the back of his hands bulging. Ning Shu said indifferently, "Then, please pay me the compensation within 2 months. If it's more than 2 months, I'll add a late fee." Ning Shu said and left. "And I, Jing." Jing Shaoze stopped Ning Shu. Ning Shu turned to look at Jing Shaoze. Jing Shaoze said, "I'm getting married to Yi Shi. I hope you can come to my wedding." Ning Shu blinked. "I'm not going. I wish you all a long life and have a child soon." Was he trying to provoke her with this kind of thing? Ning Shu didn't feel anything in her heart. She even wanted to laugh. After Ning Shu finished speaking, she turned around and got into the car. Father and I breathed a sigh of relief and said, "You're finally divorced. Daughter, don't be angry. Let's go home and live a good life." And I Yen, who was driving, asked Ning Shu, "What are your plans for the future?" Ning Shu spread out her hands and said, "That's it. I'll go around and live a carefree life. Anyway, I have 200 million yuan. And I Yen said, "I guess there will be news about your matching heart soon. After the heart transplant surgery, your body will definitely be better than now. Then you can go wherever you want." Ning Shu was stunned. Heart transplant? She was going to leave this world after completing her mission. Moreover, the original Ni Jing didn't plan to come back. This heart would be wasted. In the plot, Ni Jing died on the operating table for heart transplant. Ning Shu pursed her lips and said, "Brother, don't worry. It's not easy to get a matching heart." Ni Yen glanced at Ning Shu, raised his eyebrows and asked, "Aren't you anxious? Don't you want to have a better body?" "How can that be? Everyone wants to be healthy," Ning Shu said. Ning Shu said happily, "If I really have a heart transplant, I will definitely go around." "Definitely," Ni Yen said. "Thank you, brother." Ning Shu thanked him. Ni Jing was very happy to have a new person who loved her. After the divorce with Jing Shaozi, Ning Shu's life was very leisurely. However, the TV was full of Jing Shaozi and Yi Shi showing off their love. Jing Shaozi held a grand proposal ceremony to propose to Yi Shi. That kind of ceremony was what every woman dreamed of in their lifetime. Yi Shi nodded and agreed with tears. She looked so happy. Now that Yi Shi was going to marry Jing Shaozi, she was no longer the third party who hid in a dark corner and begged for a relationship that she shouldn't have. Yi Shi looked a lot brighter. With a shy and happy smile on her face, she held Jing Shaozi's arm and smiled sweetly. She was very beautiful. The two of them were a perfect match. They just got divorced and were in a hurry to get married. Moreover, they were marrying a mistress. Jing Shaozi could be regarded as the worst of the scumbags. He was afraid that others didn't know that he had an affair. Many people scolded Yi Shi for being a shameless mistress. Especially when they showed off their love on TV, it was simply disgusting. Chapter 655. Jing Shaozi sent an invitation to Ning Shu and said that Ning Shu must attend his wedding to witness his and Yi Shi's happiness. Ning Shu received the invitation and threw it away. When it was time for Jing Shaozi and Yi Shi's wedding, Ning Shu gave them a basket of dates, peanuts, longans, and melon seeds. He wished them to have a baby soon. Let's see who will be disgusted by who. Jing Shaozi and Yi Shi's wedding was very grand. It was even grander than Jing Shaozi and Ni Jing's wedding. Jing Shaozi did it on purpose and even did it live on TV. Ning Shu looked at their happy faces and the corners of his mouth twitched. Let's see how happy they can be. Marriage was the grave of love. After being married for a long time, even if they did not become a resentful couple, their lives would be filled with quarrels and indifference. What's more, there was a bond between Jing Shaozi and Yi Shi. Jing Shaozi could not have children in this lifetime and Yi Shi would not have children either. Unless Yi Shi had children with other men. The so-called happiness was only on the surface. Who knew what would happen behind closed doors? Jing Shaozi's grand wedding cost a lot of money. It was a dream. The wedding that made all the women envious was a result of burning money. Jing Shaozi's father did not agree at first. The Jing family had to pay 200 million as divorce compensation, but Jing Shaozi said to his father, "I'll be like this for the rest of my life." Jing Shaozi was talking about his infertility. He was very depressed and wanted to vent his anger. Jing Shaozi's father was helpless and could only let Jing Shaozi burn money as he pleased. After the wedding, Jing Shaozi's father began to look for a surrogate mother. No matter what, someone must inherit the Jing family. Jing Shaozi's father did not know why, but he always felt that Yi Shi was a woman with bad luck. Once she was involved, the Jing family's luck would be near. His father's company was going bankrupt. Jing Shaozi and Ni Jing divorced and had to pay a large sum of compensation. The cooperation with the Ni family also fell apart. The eldest son of the Ni family, Ni Yen, withdrew all the cooperation with the company and also made a lot of the company's clients. Some of the companies that used to cooperate with them also stopped cooperating. The Ni family must be behind this, causing the company's profits to shrink. The directors at the board of directors were making a ruckus. They didn't get as much money as before. The ambitious director Li was jumping up and down. He couldn't wait to take over the company immediately. Jing Shaozi's father felt a little exhausted, but he couldn't stop looking for a surrogate mother. There were too many women who wanted to get close to the rich and powerful. When they found out that the Jing family was looking for a surrogate mother, One of them took an unconventional approach and directly got Jing Shao's father drunk in the business world. Then she collected his semen. Then she took it to the hospital to get pregnant, and it was 100% a boy. People would do anything for money. Ning Shu only smiled when he knew about this. When Ning Shu was free, he would call the Jing family to ask for money. Sometimes, it was Yi Shi who answered the phone. Now that Yi Shi was married to Jing Shaozi, she had more confidence when facing Ning Shu and was no longer timid. He even vaguely told Ning Shu not to call home and that he would give him the money. Ning Shu raised the corner of his mouth. When he was a mistress, he didn't think so. After he became an official wife, he was on guard against anyone who might become a mistress. Mistresses were good at true love. With true love as a shield, they were always successful. Now, Yi Shi was on guard against being a mistress. Ning Shu hung up the phone. Your happiness is just like that. What was really reliable was that two people had independent personalities, supported each other, and complemented each other's strengths and weaknesses. If they couldn't even achieve basic equality, how could they conquer a man? Did it mean that they conquered a man just because he spoiled her? Ning Shu hung up the phone. Jing Shaozi called and Ning Shu said, "Come to the coffee shop. If you want money, come over." Ning Shu raised his eyebrows. He took the heart pill, thought about it, and stuffed the silver needles into his bag. Then he took a group of security guards to the coffee shop that Jing Shaozi mentioned. There was no one in the coffee shop, only Jing Shaozi was sitting there alone. There was a bouquet of red roses in front of Jing Shaozi. Ning Shu squinted at him. Was he going to show off his love in front of her again? Ning Shu asked the security guards to wait at the door and walked into the coffee shop by himself. "Give me the money." Ning Shu sat opposite Jing Shaozi. Jing Shaozi looked at Ning Shu. After not seeing her for a while, he felt that this woman's face had become rosier and her complexion was better than before. Jing Shaozi picked up the red roses in front of him and handed them to Ning Shu. "For you." Ning Shu. 0. Ning Shu was stunned. Weren't these flowers supposed to be for Yi Shi? How did they end up in her hands? Ning Shu couldn't think straight. No need. Ning Shu didn't take the flowers. "Give me the money." Jing Shaozi frowned. "Is money the only thing in your heart?" Jing Shaozi took out a few checks. "The money you want is here." Ning Shu reached out to take the checks, but Jing Shaozi grabbed her wrist. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaozi. Jing Shaozi said, "It's not that easy to get money. And Jing, are you really willing to part with me like this?" Ning Shu took the checks with her other hand and slapped Jing Shaozi. "Don't use the same trick on me that you used on Yi Shi." After being slapped by Ning Shu, Jing Shaozi gripped Ning Shu's wrist tightly as if he wanted to crush Ning Shu's wrist. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaozi without changing her expression. "Don't tell me you want to get back together with me?" Jing Shaozi narrowed his eyes. "What if I say yes?" "Ning Shu, aren't you married to Yi Shi?" Ning Shu asked. Jing Shaozi didn't speak. Ning Shu sneered and shook off Jing Shaozi's hand. "You want to cheat me of my money? Dream on." Jing Shaozi was such a lustful person. How could he want to get back together with her? Ning Shu turned and left. Jing Shaozi stood up and grabbed Ning Shu's arm. He said coldly, "Why do you only have money in your heart? If I don't let you go today, you won't be able to leave. I'll book this cafe." "Wow, so what if you book the cafe?" Ning Shu shouted for security at the door and several burly men pushed the door open and came in. Jing Shaozi saw the security and let go of Ning Shu's arm. He looked at Ning Shu and said unhappily, "Why did you bring security to meet me?" "It's because I'm meeting you that I brought security," Ning Shu said with a smile. He smiled and said to the security, "Beat him up. I'll take responsibility if anything happens." The security immediately walked towards Jing Shaozi. Jing Shaozi took 2 steps back. Jing Shaozi's voice was sharp and angry. "And Jing, do you have to be so ruthless? Except for me, which man will look at you?" "Beat him up. Beat him up where it hurts," Ning Shu said coldly. Jing Shaozi was forced into a corner and surrounded by several security guards. He wanted to use his skills to fight against 5 of them, but he overestimated his strength and was beaten down. Chapter 656. Jing Shaoze was knocked to the ground by the security guards. His whole body was in pain. When the security guards heard Ning Shu's words, they started to hit him where it hurt. For a moment, Jing Shaoze was lying on the ground. Ning Shu reached into his bag and took out a silver needle. He walked over and patted Jing Shaoze's back. Then he quickly inserted the needle into Jing Shaoze's waist. Jing Shaoze was in pain all over. When he was patted by Ning Shu, he immediately cried out in pain and covered up the pain of the needle. Ning Shu said coldly, "I know what you're thinking, but don't treat women as fools." Wasn't Jing Shaoze's hypocritical attitude just because he wanted the 200 million yuan? Jing Shaoze was in so much pain that his face was covered in sweat. He turned his head and looked at Ning Shu with bloodshot eyes. His gums were almost bleeding as he said hatefully, Jing, I'd like to see how well you can live without me." Ning Shu smiled slightly. "Just wait and see. But I know you won't have a good life. An irresponsible man who doesn't have a sense of responsibility for his family, doesn't discipline himself, and can't give his wife a sense of security. Your life will be even more chaotic. No matter how many halos you have, things will soon collapse if things go wrong. Indulgence comes with a price. I wish you well." Ning Shu turned and left. Ning Shu took the check to the bank and a huge sum of money appeared in her account. Ning Shu used the huge sum of money to buy a lot of scattered shares of the Jing family's company. In addition, the Jing family's company's recent profits were not good. Ning Shu bought the shares of the small director at a premium. The small director saw that the company's situation was not right. In addition, Ning Shu offered a high price, so he transferred his shares to Ning Shu. This allowed Ning Shu to accumulate a lot of shares. That day, Jing Shaoze came back with injuries. Yi Shi asked Jing Shaoze how he got these injuries. Jing Shaoze said that Jing hit him. Yi Shi was unhappy at that time. She was unhappy that Jing Shaoze and Jing met. Yi Shi called Ning Shu and told him not to meet Jing Shaoze anymore. She said that they were already divorced. Ning Shu rolled his eyes and hung up the phone. Jing Shaoze's body had been in pain for several days and he was furious. He remembered that Ning Shu had called the police twice before. This time, he also called the police, saying that Ning Shu deliberately beat him up, which constituted a crime of intentional injury. When the police found Ning Shu, she said directly, it was self-defense. At that time, I had a check of 200 million on me. At that time, he grabbed my arm and wanted to snatch the check from me. There should be cameras in the cafe. You can go and check. Jing Shaoze. This bitch. Jing Shaoze had been looking for an opportunity to take revenge on Ning Shu, but Ning Shu either stayed at home and rarely went out, or when he went out, he brought a large group of people with him. Jing Shaoze was annoyed. He really thought of himself as a great person. However, it didn't take long for Jing Shaoze to lose the mood to find trouble with Ning Shu because he found that there was a problem with his body. He couldn't do it for as long as before. Moreover, he couldn't get erect for a long time, which made Yi Shi very unhappy and resentful. Jing Shaoze endured the shame and went to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor said a lot of things about nerve sensitivity, prostate problems, and surgery. When Jing Shaoze heard that he was going to have surgery there, he was frightened and ran out of the hospital. Jing Shaoze went to find a more famous Chinese medicine doctor. The doctor said that Jing Shaoze had serious kidney damage and couldn't have sex. Jing Shaoze was speechless for a long time. Not only did he lose his fertility, but he also lost his ability to have sex now. That night, Jing Shaoze was annoyed and wanted to test whether he really couldn't do it with Yi Shi, but the result was quickly lost. Jing Shaoze was so angry that he jumped out of bed naked and smashed everything in the bedroom. Yi Shi nestled in bed and looked at Jing Shaoze in a daze. Her expression was indescribably complicated. The loud noise in the room attracted Jing Shaoze's parents. Jing Shaoze could only suppress his anger and deal with his parents. He couldn't tell his parents that he couldn't do it. The next morning, Jing Shaoze's mother scolded Yi Shi. Jing Shaoze's mother didn't like Yi Shi. Yi Shi's family background was not as good as the Jing family, so Jing Shaoze's mother was even more unkind to her. What's more, Yi Shi didn't give birth to a precious grandson for the Jing family like in the plot, so Jing Shaoze's mother hated this daughter-in-law very much. Yi Shi was very helpless and sad in her heart. At this time, Jing Xiaoze was in a daze and didn't know how to speak up for her. Yi Shi's heart turned cold and she began to mourn for the rest of her life. She thought that she would be happy from now on, but she didn't expect such an outcome. If she had known, she would have been ruthless and left. She wouldn't have ended up in such a situation. She didn't have a child in this life and had a husband, but she might be a widow. Yi Shi was discouraged for a while. After getting what she wanted, it was completely different from what she imagined. Jing Xiaoze's mother's reputation was not good now. Even if there were any banquets, don't invite her. Jing Xiaoze's mother, who had nothing to do all day, acted like a mother-in-law in front of Yi Shi and tormented her. There were servants at home, but she insisted that Yi Shi wear the clothes she liked, cook, and clean. Yi Shi was very angry, but Jing Xiaoze couldn't stand it anymore and spoke up for Yi Shi. Jing Xiaoze was very guilty when facing Yi Shi. After all, he couldn't do it. While Jing Xiaoze's mother was happily tormenting Yi Shi, a woman came to the door with a newly bulged belly. The pregnant woman arrogantly said that the child in her belly was Jing Xiaoze's father's, and it was a boy. He was the future heir of the Jing family. Jing Xiaoze's mother was furious. She picked up something and smashed it on the woman's belly, wanting to get rid of the bastard in her belly. This child was her bargaining chip, so the woman naturally had to protect the child in her belly. Yi Shi looked on indifferently from the side and didn't help Jing Xiaoze's mother at all. There was a carefree smile on her face. Jing Xiaoze's father and son, who rushed back from the company after receiving the news, looked at the woman with a slightly bulged belly in a daze. Jing Xiaoze's father was very unfamiliar with this woman and didn't believe that the child in her belly was his. The woman had no choice but to tell him how she was pregnant with Jing Xiaoze's father's child. She also promised Jing Xiaoze's father that the child was 100% a boy. When Jing Xiaoze's mother heard that this shameless woman stole her husband's sperm, she was so angry that she wanted to lift the roof and beat this woman to death. Jing Xiaoze's father didn't dare to take the risk. What if this child was really his? Jing Xiaoze's mother was so angry that she wanted to jump off the building. She wanted to drag this smug and hateful woman down with her. Jing Xiaoze's mother was full of fear and uneasiness. This woman who came to the door was young and beautiful, and she was even pregnant with her husband's child. She was old and yellow. Could she stay by her husband's side? What if her husband was seduced by this woman? Jing Xiaoze's mother felt as if a knife was stirring in her heart. It was so painful that she wanted to die. Chapter 657. The pregnant woman was obviously here for glory and wealth. Unlike Yi Shi, she would not endure it stubbornly. She even said that she wanted to take care of the baby in the Jing family's luxurious villa. Jing Xiaoze's mother immediately exploded and shouted at Jing Xiaoze's father, "In this family, it's either her or me. I don't know where the child in her stomach came from, but how dare he blackmail the Jing family?" The pregnant woman said confidently, "My child is definitely Mr. Jing's. You can go to the hospital to take the amniotic fluid for a DNA test. This child is the future heir of the Jing family. What's wrong with me taking care of the baby here?" The pregnant woman said with a smile and looked at Jing Xiaoze's father coquettishly. "Does Mr. Jing want to see his son suffer?" Jing Xiaoze's mother was so angry that she felt dizzy. She kept cursing, "You shameless bitch. You're such a bitch." Jing Xiaoze's mother was an elegant lady, but she could not calm down when faced with such a situation. She was no different from a shrew. Ever since she found out that Jing Xiaoze was infertile, Jing Xiaoze's mother lost her composure. What she was worried about still happened. How could she stand it? What else did she have in this life? Enough. Jing Xiaoze was unhappy when he saw her cursing the child. Looking at this woman's confident look, this child was most likely his. Jing Xiaoze's mother looked at her husband in a daze and shouted, "I'm your wife who has been with you for half your life. You're actually yelling at me because of this shameless vixen." Jing Xiaoze's mother reached out and scratched Jing Xiaoze's father's face. Her nails were very long and beautifully trimmed. Jing Xiaoze's father's face suddenly had many scratches, some of which were very deep. Jing Xiaoze's father slapped her hard across the face, causing her to fall to the ground. "Look at you now. How dare you hit me?" Jing Shaozi hurriedly helped his mother up and said disapprovingly, "Dad, how can you hit Mom?" Jing Shaozi's father felt a burning pain on his face. "Look at what she did." Jing Shaozi's mother threw herself into Jing Shaozi's arms and wailed. She watched from the side with a slight smile. "If you don't let me stay here, I'll have an abortion." The pregnant woman straightened her belly. "You have to think carefully. The heir of the Jing family is inside." Jing Shaozi's mother glared at her with bloodshot eyes. "Go ahead and get an abortion if you dare. Even if you don't, I'll make you do it as long as you dare to stay here." The pregnant woman took 2 steps back and said, "It's okay if you don't want to live here, but you have to buy me a house so that I can take care of the baby." "Dream on." Jing Shaozi's mother shouted agitatedly. "You want a house? Dream on." Jing Shaozi's father rubbed his forehead. In the end, he compromised for the sake of the child. He made an agreement with the pregnant woman, saying that the child would have nothing to do with her. He would buy her a house and pay her a sum of money for her nutrition. But if the child in her belly was not the Jing family's, the consequences were not something she could bear. The woman agreed readily and deliberately walked away with a hand on her waist. Before she left, she gave Jing Shaozi's mother a provocative look. That arrogant look made Jing Shaozi's mother so angry that she almost went crazy. If Jing Shaozi had not held her back, she would have run to the kitchen and stabbed this woman to death. How hateful! How could there be such a shameless bitch? After the pregnant woman left, Jing Shaozi's mother could only stare at her husband. She cried and threw a tantrum, asking if there was anything between him and that vixen. Did something happen between the two of them? Jing Shaozi's father was very impatient and went straight to the office. At the same time, he took care of the house for the pregnant woman so that she could take care of the baby in peace. The pregnant woman was very smart. When he bought a house, he had to use her name on the property certificate. Otherwise, she would go to the hospital for an abortion. For the sake of the child, Jing Shaozi's father endured and bought a house for the woman. The property certificate was in her name. At the same time, he made up his mind that if the child was not his, he would make this woman beg for death. Jing Shaozi's father did not tell the family where the house he bought for the woman was, especially from his wife. Otherwise, there would be more trouble. Clearly, nothing had happened, but she was still looking for trouble like a lunatic, causing the family to be uneasy. Jing Shaozi's father could not control the situation now. There was no worst-case scenario, it would only go in a worse direction. Jing Shaozi's mother kept making a fuss. In order to avoid her, Jing Shaozi's father rarely went home and stayed in the office all day. Sometimes he would even visit the pregnant woman's house. This man was her sugar daddy. The pregnant woman was naturally gentle towards Jing Shaozi's father. The man, who was afraid of his wife, enjoyed this feeling. He always liked to come here, saying that he wanted to see his child. Sometimes he would even accompany the woman for a prenatal checkup, leaving Jing Shaozi's mother in the luxurious villa. Jing Shaozi's mother was already worried about her gains and losses. Now that another woman had appeared to ruin their relationship, how could Jing Shaozi's mother tolerate this? Jing Shaozi's father did not come home, so Jing Shaozi's mother went to the office to make a fuss. Not only did she make the house a mess, but she also made the people in the office lose their minds. Anyway, the entire Jing family was in a fickle and crazy atmosphere. It was like a bowstring that had been pulled to the extreme, who knew when it would break? Compared to the gloomy atmosphere in the Jing family, Ning Shu's days were very comfortable. When he had nothing to do, he would practice his peerless martial arts or go out to do things. Previously, the directors of the Jing family's companies sold their shares to him. There were also some small directors who took the initiative to look for Ning Shu and offered to sell their shares to Ning Shu. Now, the company was in a rather strange atmosphere. In any case, it gave people a very bad feeling. There was no positive and uplifting atmosphere. Moreover, the directors' dividends were getting less and less, and the company's share price was also falling. Some of the small directors heard that Ning Shu was buying shares at a premium and contacted Ning Shu to transfer the shares to Ning Shu. Since they took the initiative to come to him, Ning Shu naturally had to lower the price. It was impossible for him to give a higher price. These small directors saw that Ning Shu was lowering the price and felt that the company had no future. They wanted to withdraw as soon as possible. They could not be trapped in their hands. Ning Shu's price was slightly higher than the stock price, and these small directors sold their shares. At this point, Ning Shu had spent almost all of his 200 million yuan. All of it was exchanged for the shares of the Jing family. After calculating, the shares in his hands were enough to enter the board of directors of the Jing family company. He had the right to vote. It all depended on when he could change the name of the Jing family company. There were many people who coveted the Jing family company. For example, the second largest shareholder of the company, Director Li, was eyeing the company covetously. He wanted to get the company in his hands and change the company's name to Li. Chapter 658. Ning Shu contacted Director Li and said that he was willing to vote for Director Li to become the chairman of the company. The Jing family was in a mess and Jing Shaoze was very worried now. He looked for doctors everywhere to cure his illness, but it was not so easy. Now the Jing family was supported by Jing Shaoze's father, but because of the pregnant woman, Jing Shaoze's mother came to the company every 2 to 3 days to make trouble, making Jing Shaoze's father very embarrassed. He had no dignity in front of the company's employees. Jing Shaoze's father said that if she continued to make trouble, he would divorce her. Jing Shaoze's mother became more and more excited, saying that Jing Shaoze's father was going to divorce her for that woman and abandon his wife and son. Jing Shaoze's father was so angry that he directly locked Jing Shaoze's mother at home and asked her to calm down. Now she was like a shrew, an unreasonable shrew. She took care of Jing Shaoze's mother at home. Every time, she would wait until she was hungry to send her food, and the food she prepared was not very good. Jing Shaoze's mother cursed loudly, and her curses could be heard in the whole villa. In the face of her mother-in-law's curses, she did not say a word, but the next meal was still the same. In this way, the Jing family no longer had the ability to lead the company. When Director Li heard that Ning Shu supported him, he was sure that Ning Shu would not betray him at the last minute, so he called for a board meeting and said that he would remove Jing Shaoze's father from the position of chairman and deprive the Jing family of the management rights. Jing Shaoze's father's face was dark, but he was very calm. After all, the Jing family had the most shares, and these directors could not all vote for Director Li. In the end, it was the voting of the directors. Every director voted very carefully. Ning Shu did not come to the scene, but he called Director Li to vote. Director Li had roped in a lot of directors before. Although some of them betrayed him at the last minute, he still defeated the Jing family with 1 vote. Jing Shaoze's father fainted on the spot due to high blood pressure and was rushed to the hospital. When Jing Shaoze came back to work from a business trip, he found that the company was turned upside down. His father's position as chairman was gone, and his position as CEO was gone. Now, he was told that the Jing family's company had nothing to do with his family. Although the Jing family had a small company, this company was the most important. It wasn't that the Jing family had nothing now. The Jing family had a lot of stocks in their hands and the dividends they received every year made the Jing family rich. But this belonged to the Jing clan. Jing Shaoze went to look for Director Li, but he was dragged out by the security guards before he could even see Director Li. Ning Shu felt that this mission should be about done. He just didn't know when he would be able to leave. The Jing family had been trying so hard to find a successor. Now that the Jing family had lost their family business, did they really want a successor to inherit the company's stocks and a few small companies? A small company was like a drop in the ocean to the Jing family's company. There was no way they could compare. Jing Shaoze's father was in the hospital, while Jing Shaoze's mother was locked up at home, cursing and swearing every day. Ning Shu's life was very comfortable, but the Ni family was very worried. They said that they still wanted to find a man for Ning Shu to take care of her for the rest of her life. Especially when they saw that Jing Shaoze was married, they swore to find Ning Shu a man who was 1,000 times better than Jing Shaoze. Ning Shu's face darkened when he heard this. It wasn't easy for him to jump out of the pit, but now he had to jump back into the pit again? Moreover, men of equal social status all avoided Ning Shu. It was because Ning Shu's style was too strong. She took a video of her ex-husband having sex and asked for 200 million yuan for a divorce. Moreover, she was a woman with heart disease who couldn't give birth. Anyone with a clear mind would not marry Ning Shu. However, there were also some men who were interested in the 200 million yuan in Ning Shu's hands and expressed their willingness to marry Ning Shu. Ning Shu, go back to where you came from. The Ni family had no choice but to ask Ni Yen for help to find a reliable man. Ni Yen looked at the nonchalant Ning Shu and said, I have a suitable candidate under me. He's reliable and has a good personality. If you're willing, I can arrange for the two of you to meet. Oh, how's his family background? Ning Shu asked casually. It's not that good, but he's hardworking and has a bright future. He's my right-hand man. Ni Yen said. Ning Shu squinted and said, forget it, we're not of equal social status. He'll say that his brother forced him to marry his sick sister. I have more money than him and my family background is better than his. His male chauvinism probably won't be able to take it and make him feel suffocated. What's his motive for marrying a wife who can't give birth? Ni Yen. If you think that way, you can't get married in this lifetime. Ning Shu said to Ni Yen. Ning Shu said casually, I didn't plan to get married in the first place. Do women have to get married? I don't want to be too comfortable right now. Ning Shu felt that her life after transmigrating was great. No one forced her to get married. It was as if a woman who didn't get married was a piece of trash that no one wanted. Ni Yen didn't introduce anyone to Ning Shu and said, the donor has agreed to donate the heart. The surgery will probably be carried out soon. The hospital has already arranged another surgery for you. Pack up today and you'll be in the main hospital tomorrow. Ning Shu, no, I don't want to. When would he be able to leave this world? The Ni family completely ignored Ning Shu's wishes and sent Ning Shu to the hospital. They even comforted Ning Shu not to be nervous, but they were extremely nervous. Ni Yen said to Ning Shu, don't be afraid. Take care of your body first. Big Brother has hired the best doctor for you. Once the heart recovers, the surgery can be carried out. After that, you can walk around. Ning Shu felt helpless when she saw the Ni family's anticipation. If she didn't do the surgery, how sad would the Ni family be? Dying on the operating table was better than not doing it at all. Once the heart arrived at the hospital, Ning Shu was pushed into the operating room. All sorts of instruments were placed on her body. Ning Shu cursed in her heart. Is 2333 dead? Why isn't he sending me back? After the anesthetic was administered, Ning Shu fainted. When she woke up again, her whole body was numb. Ni Yen came in wearing a sterile gown. When he saw Ning Shu wake up, he smiled. The surgery was a success. Jingjing, take care of your body. Ning Shu felt bitter in her heart. Facing the happy family, Ning Shu didn't feel too good. It was a pity that the original owner didn't plan to come back. If the surgery was successful, her body wouldn't faint like before. Ding, mission completed. Do you want to leave the mission world? 2333's voice sounded. Ning Shu was extremely depressed. Can't you die earlier? How can you let me leave after the surgery is successful? How can the Ni family accept this? Chapter 659. After a moment of dizziness, Ning Shu opened his eyes and found himself back in the system space. He sprawled on the sofa and saw Ni Jing standing in front of him. Seeing Ni Jing, Ning Shu immediately sat up straight and asked, "Are you satisfied with the mission?" Ni Jing smiled, "Thank you, I'm very satisfied." Ning Shu paused for a moment and said, "I think you should go back. Your heart transplant was a success. You can go back and live like a healthy person." Living like a healthy person is not a healthy person. Ni Jing shook her head, "And I have to take anti-rejection drugs for the rest of my life." "Didn't you take medicine before?" Ning Shu said. Ni Jing's condition required her to take medicine. The surgery was a success. "Your parents are very happy." Ni Jing smiled, "Thank you, but I want to start over." "Well, I wish you all the best." Ning Shu felt that it was a pity. A new life might not be as good as this one. Ning Shu felt that Ni Jing would have a good life when she went back. She would have enough money to squander and would not have to worry about making a living. Moreover, the Ni family would not force Ni Qian to marry. In a way, this kind of life was freer than most people. However, to each his own. Ning Shu thought it was good, but Ni Jing did not think so. He felt that Ni Jing cared a lot about the fact that she could not have children. Everything was because Ni Jing could not have children. Anyway, thank you. Ni Jing thanked Ning Shu. Then her soul began to become thin. In the end, it was so thin that it could be blown away by the wind. Ni Jing disappeared from the system space. Ning Shu immediately asked 2333, "Why didn't you tell me that someone entered the system space?" 2333 explained, "I thought you were ready to meet the client." Sophistry. She slumped on the sofa. Did she look like she was going to meet a guest? Ning Shu rolled his eyes and said, 2333, "I feel that you have been acting weird recently. Tell me if you have any dissatisfaction." "No, I'm just trying to remind you. I'm not afraid that you will become arrogant after becoming an intermediate mission taker," 2333 said. "Ning Shu, should I thank you?" Ning Shu asked, "If I leave Ni Jing's body and Ni Jing won't go, then what about Ni Jing's body?" "Natural death," 2333 said. Ning Shu still felt that it was a pity. Did Ni Jing give up her soul to counterattack just to fulfill her wish and then reincarnate with peace of mind? Let's take a look at the points this time, Ning Shu said as he sat cross-legged on the sofa. Ning Shu's attributes panel appeared in front of him. Serial number, 2333 name, Ning Shu, intermediate mission taker, age, 27 points, 3. 15 million/2 million soul value, 300 HP, 71 wisdom, 210 charm, 4 luck, 54 spiritual power, 130 faith, 4420 combat power, 132 aptitude, 59 merit, 30 skills, 5th ring shooting technique, trash fighting technique, entry to unique martial arts, elementary poison technique, elementary business management knowledge, elementary code programming, elementary lawyer skills. Honorary title, Goddess of War, Selfless Ancestor Tools, Calm Aura, Amulet Aura, Mother of the World, Queen's Blessing, Model Worker, Qin Shi's Blessing, Leader Aura, Grass Blessing, Best Friend for Life, Miao Miao Miao's Blessing, Life-Saving Hand, Zhu Su Nyang's Blessing, Fulfill Ni Jing's Wish, Take Revenge on Jing Shao, Zhe Yishi. Mission completion rate, 100. Obtained 2 million points, 40 attribute points, 20 faith. The reward was quite good. He obtained 2 million points. How should he distribute the 40 attribute points? Ning Shu thought for a while and decided to add them to wisdom, combat power, and luck. Ning Shu thought for a while and added a point to charm. The other attributes were in the tens and tens, but only charm was at 4. Serial number, 2333 name, Ning Shu, intermediate mission taker, age, 27 points, 3. 15 million/2 million soul value, 300 HP, 71 wisdom, 21014 charm, 46 luck, 5410 spiritual power, 130 faith, 64 combat power, 13210 aptitude, 59 merit, 30 skills, 5th ring shooting technique, trash fighting technique, beginner peerless martial arts, beginner poison technique, beginner business management knowledge, beginner code programming, beginner lawyer skills. Honorary title, Goddess of War, Selfless Ancestor Tools, Calm Aura, Amulet Aura, Mother of the World, Queen's Blessing, Model Worker, Qin Shi's Blessing, Leader Aura, Grass Blessing, Best Friend for Life, Miao Miao Miao's Blessing, Life-Saving Hand, Zhu Su Nyang's Blessing. Ning Shu added 6 attribute points to charm. In any case, charm had reached 2 digits. After finishing these things, Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the sofa and cultivated. Only when he could no longer absorb energy did he stop. Ning Shu opened her eyes and touched her soul. Now, her soul was much stronger than before. It felt like jelly when she touched it. Ning Shu was quite happy. At least he was getting stronger. Tisk, shallow. Do you know what a truly strong soul is like? It's like a human body, but it's invulnerable. To destroy such a soul, not even a trace of consciousness can be left behind. Otherwise, it's impossible to kill it. 2333 looked at Ning Shu's intoxicated face and sneered. Ning Shu, I know there are many powerful existences. You don't have to tell me. I need encouragement, not a blow. Aren't you afraid that I won't be able to withstand the pressure? Ning Shu said unhappily. Then you can't take it now? 2333 asked. I can barely take it. Then it's fine. Ning Shu, pounding the table and crying. She strongly requested to change the system. Her system was not friendly at all. Ning Shu planned to go to the virtual space to take a look. Maybe he could find something useful. Most of the time, Ning Shu didn't exchange anything. He didn't have any money. He just liked to make a fuss. After a moment of absent-mindedness, Ning Shu appeared in the virtual space. He didn't care about anything else and went to a restaurant to eat. When he passed by a shop, he was bumped into by a mission enforcer who came out of the shop. Ning Shu stumbled. Sorry. The person who bumped into Ning Shu apologized first and even reached out to help Ning Shu. Ning Shu avoided his hand and shook his head. It's okay. When Ning Shu looked at the mission enforcer, he was stunned. He rubbed his eyes and his face was full of disbelief. It shouldn't be. How could this person be here? Impossible. Ning Shu's face was so shocked that it was distorted. He couldn't believe the person he saw. Are you all right? The man asked, looking polite. Chapter 660. Ning Shu really wanted to slap himself twice to make his expression more normal. He coughed and calmly said, I'm fine. Ning Shu never thought that she would meet Zhang Jiasun here. Zhang Jiasun, damn it. He committed suicide and became a mission enforcer. Ning Shu turned around and left. She didn't want to have anything to do with Zhang Jiasun. Zhang Jiasun reached out to stop Ning Shu. Ning Shu looked at him warily. What are you doing? Zhang Jiasun withdrew his hand and said, I just wanted to ask if you were okay. Ning Shu shook his head. I'm fine. Zhang Jiasun was some distance away from Ning Shu. He said politely to Ning Shu, I'm sorry. I didn't notice when I came out. If you feel uncomfortable, you can tell me. I'm willing to compensate you. Seeing Zhang Jiasun like this, Ning Shu had a bad feeling in her heart. She knew this guy too well. He had a deep mind and was ruthless. Everything he did had a purpose. I'm fine. Ning Shu turned around and walked away. Zhang Jiasun relied on his long legs to block Ning Shu again. Ning Shu's heart immediately exploded, and he looked at him coldly. What else do you want? To express my apology, I'll treat you to a meal. Zhang Jiasun pointed to a restaurant not far away and said, This is my first time here. You're the first person I've met. Let me treat you to a meal. Ning Shu, slamming the table and crying. What kind of ill-fated relationship was this? That was why he met Zhang Jiasun here. Ning Shu didn't want to have anything to do with Zhang Jiasun. Not at all. Ning Shu took 2 steps back and lightly said, No need, thank you. Zhang Jiasun raised his eyebrows, looked at Ning Shu and asked, Are you afraid of me? Why would I be afraid of you? Let's fight one-on-one if you have the ability. Zhang Jiasun sized up Ning Shu from head to toe. His sharp eyes made Ning Shu's hair stand on end. What are you looking at? Ning Shu asked unhappily. Zhang Jiasun rubbed his chin. I think you look familiar. Ning Shu, why does he look so familiar? To be honest, Ning Shu didn't want to deal with people like Zhang Jiasun. It was fine to meet him once, but he didn't expect to meet him again. Ning Shu had a bad feeling in his heart. Zhang Jiasun had become a mission enforcer. What if he met him during a mission? Her life was already so miserable, and there was still a mission enforcer who might seek revenge on her. However, Ning Shu did not regret her decision in the slightest. Even if she had known that Zhang Jiasun would become a quest enforcer, she would still have done the same thing. She should have taken out the soul pearl and collected Zhang Jiasun's soul back then. Zhang Jiasun saw that the woman's face was cold, but her eyes were flickering. He said, I invite you again. Please give me a chance to apologize. No need. Ning Shu directly refused. Zhang Jiasun frowned, then his eyebrows relaxed, and he finally laughed softly. Ning Shu? Laugh your ass, you're crazy. Zhang Jiasun stared at Ning Shu. Ning Shu shouted, meow meow meow. Cough cough cough. Fuck, Zhang Jiasun was simply heaven-defying. He could even recognize her. Zhang Jiasun smiled. It really is you. I didn't expect you to look like this. Ning Shu straightened her back and said righteously, it's me. What, do you want revenge on me? Zhang Jiasun said gently, why would I want revenge on you? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been caught by the system. Ning Shu, that's mockery, right? Hee hee. Ning Shu looked at Zhang Jiasun. I'm telling the truth. The past is in the past, and I don't have any responsibilities. I'm living for myself now. Zhang Jiasun looked at Ning Shu. I don't hate you. As for meow meow meow, now that I think about it, I feel sorry for her. She gave up her soul for others to counterattack. Zhang Jiasun looked disappointed. Soul power is too important to the soul. Ning Shu, I'd be a fool if I believed you. Zhang Jiasun's words couldn't be trusted. What's your name? Zhang Jiasun asked Ning Shu. Ning Shu was wary of Zhang Jiasun, so he didn't plan on telling Zhang Jiasun his name. Since you don't hate me, then let's forget about each other. Ning Shu turned and walked away. This time, Zhang Jiasun didn't stop Ning Shu. Instead, he raised his eyebrows and looked at Ning Shu's back. He touched his chin, turned around, and walked in the opposite direction of Ning Shu. After meeting Zhang Jiasun, Ning Shu wasn't in the mood to eat at the restaurant. He thought about it and felt that he was too cowardly. Wasn't it just Zhang Jiasun? What was there to be afraid of? Everyone would use their own means to see who could beat who. Ning Shu still went to the restaurant to eat. When he walked to the door, the waiter greeted him and said to Ning Shu, Sir, someone invited you to a private room. Ning Shu was surprised. He didn't know anyone in the virtual space, but someone invited him to a private room. A private room was very expensive. Ning Shu ate in the main hall every time he went to the restaurant. Ning Shu followed the waiter to the private room. The waiter opened the door, and Ning Shu instantly smelled the fragrance of agarwood in the room. After taking a breath, he felt that his soul was much cooler. Smelling this smell, a silver-haired consultant appeared in Ning Shu's mind. Ning Shu walked in and saw the silver-haired man. The silver-haired man was holding a book in his hand. Sit down, the silver-haired man said calmly as he closed the book gracefully. Ning Shu was a little puzzled as to why he was looking for him. He asked, Why are you looking for me? You're an intermediate mission enforcer now, right? Ning Shu said, I need something. I hope you can help me find it in an intermediate realm. Ning Shu was even more confused. What is it that only an intermediate realm has? Since you need it, why do you want me to find it? Can't you go yourself? I can't go to a low-level realm, the silver-haired man said calmly. Ning Shu was speechless. Although he guessed that this person might be stronger, no one could say that an intermediate realm was a low-level realm so matter-of-factly. Ning Shu's lips twitched as he asked, What is it? A type of sand called star sand. The silver-haired man said, As long as you find this star sand for me, I'll give you a generous reward. Putting aside the reward, Ning Shu did not know what star sand was at all. He asked, What does this thing look like? Why does it only exist in intermediate realms? The silver-haired man said, It's a type of sand, but it's actually a type of stone. It can also be said to be a type of crystal. It's a law stone formed when an intermediate realm develops into an advanced realm. Ning Shu was surprised. Then this thing should be very expensive. You can exchange it. There were too many shops in the virtual space. He would definitely find what he wanted. The silver-haired man glanced at Ning Shu, who was making a fuss. This thing is actually useless. It's like the resin secreted by a tree. Ning Shu was speechless. He felt that he was being despised for no reason. Chapter 661. Since this sort of thing was useless, what did he want it for? Ning Shu didn't plan on asking. Even if she asked, he might not tell her. She thought for a moment and said, I don't know how to find star sand, and I can't guarantee that I'll find it. I can wait as long as it takes. Time is not a problem. If you find it, you can come to the consultation room and make a deal with me, the silver-haired man said. Ning Shu thought for a while and asked, Why are you looking for me? Ning Shu was really confused about why the silver-haired man was looking for him. The silver-haired man said, The people I know don't go to low-level worlds. I just happened to see you and wanted to make a deal with you. Ning Shu was speechless. His heart was hurt 10,000 times. This looks like star sand. The silver-haired man handed Ning Shu a piece of paper. It was light gold and a little thick. Ning Shu took a look. Star sand was just like its name. It was silver and very small, only the size of a thumb. This kind of thing was too hard to find, mainly because it was too small. Even if he found it, he would just glance at it and ignore it. Ning Shu nodded and said, I'll try my best. The silver-haired man nodded and stood up. He took the thick book and left. He turned to Ning Shu and said, Order whatever you want. It's my treat. The silver-haired man opened the door and left. Ning Shu didn't stand on ceremony. He called the waiter and ordered a table of dishes. After eating, he returned to the system space. Ning Shu asked 2333, How did Zhang Jiasen become a mission enforcer? His soul is qualified. Naturally, he can become a mission enforcer, 2333 said. Ning Shu felt very tired. Can you find out what level he is at now? How did he appear in the virtual space so quickly? I can't find out. The support system only serves mission enforcers. I can't find out their information. As for appearing in the virtual space, as long as you accumulate 500,000 points, you can activate the virtual space, 2333 explained. 2333 explained, you activated the virtual space when you accumulated 500,000 points. Ning Shu pursed his lips. Looking at Zhang Jiasen's appearance, he would definitely find a chance to mess with him in the future. Ning Shu guessed that Zhang Jiasen was able to recognize her because of her unconscious movements. Everyone had habitual movements. She had lived with Zhang Jiasen for a period of time, so it was normal for Zhang Jiasen to guess. Ning Shu hammered his head. He would have to be more careful when doing quests in the future. As long as there was a chance to step on him, he would not give in. After recording Zhang Jiasen in his heart, Ning Shu took out the paper that the silver-haired man had given him. It felt very heavy to the touch, and there were no creases at all. He tore at the paper but found that he couldn't tear it. No matter how hard he tried, he still couldn't tear it. Good stuff. Ning Shu looked at the star sand on the paper and memorized its appearance in his mind. If he could really encounter it, he wouldn't miss it. What kind of paper is this? Why is it so hard? Ning Shu asked. 2333. Why did his host always look like she hadn't seen the world before? No matter how hard it is, it's just a piece of paper. What's there to be surprised about? 2333 said in annoyance. That kind of person always takes out good stuff. Ning Shu frowned and said unhappily, 2333, why do I feel like you're going through menopause? Why are you speaking so strangely? I'm just making a fuss because I haven't seen it before. That's why I asked. If you don't like me, you can remove the binding between us. 2333 was silent for a while and said, Sorry, I almost forgot that you're a girl. Ning Shu. Fuck, why wasn't she a girl? Was that an apology? It was unbearable to talk like that. This paper is made from the sap of the phoenix parasol tree, so it's very hard and can last for a long time. If you don't understand, you should read more. 2333 said. Ning Shu rolled her eyes and took a book from the bookshelf and put the paper in between. Ning Shu opened the exchange store. It had been a long time since he last shopped. Ning Shu wasn't very interested in the items in the exchange store. Especially after the last trial mission when he was prohibited from using the exchange store, Ning Shu tried to make himself less reliant on the items in the exchange store. Ning Shu learned everything he could learn by himself. For example, medical skills were taught to Ning Shu by himself. The system couldn't take away his skills. Ning Shu browsed the exchange store and bought fasting pills, water, detoxification pills, and some basic medicine. Ning Shu wasn't interested in anything else. He closed the exchange store. Let's look at the new client. Ning Shu sat up straight and looked at the client in his best state. Okay. As soon as 2333's voice faded, a woman appeared in the system storage. She was wearing ancient clothes and her long hair was tied into a ponytail. Ning Shu looked at the woman's face. Her lips were black and there was a faint black aura around her face. Her face looked a little blurry. My name is Xiao Susu. I want to fight back. Xiao Susu looked at Ning Shu. Her voice was very clear. I want to break free from the shackles of my bloodline. Because of my bloodline, I can't live in this world. Ning Shu was a little dizzy. He asked, "What is your wish?" I want to live my own life. I don't want to be used by others. Xiao Susu's face was sad. She seemed to have thought of something. She frowned and looked sad. Ning Shu nodded and said, I will accept this quest. As soon as he said that, Xiao Susu's soul left the system. Ning Shu thought for a moment and asked 2333, is there any item that can tell if there are other quest takers in the quest world? Nope. 2333 said. Ning Shu was disappointed. She wanted to know if she could know if Zhang Jiasen was in the same world. She wanted to know if she could guard against him. It would be best if she could kill him. But there is an item that can do this. It's called the Strings of Affection. If you can use this item on the person you want to know, if you are in the same world, the strings of affection will burn. 2333 said. Strings of affection? Ning Shu squinted. She had a bad feeling when she heard the name. The side effect is that this item is like a curse. It will make two people fall in love. 2333 said with a smile. Do you want to exchange? Ning Shu. You must be kidding me. Fall in love? She and Zhang Jiasen felt a chill just thinking about it. No. Ning Shu didn't want to have anything to do with Zhang Jiasen. She wanted to guard against Zhang Jiasen. She didn't want to put herself in danger. She couldn't do such a stupid thing. When the time comes, she would be played by Zhang Jiasen. That would be worse than death. Zhang Jiasen would have his revenge. Moreover, he would be the one who delivered himself to her. Chapter 662. Ning Shu gave up after learning about the powerful side effects of the strings of affection. Using this item on Zhang Jiasen was suicide. It was giving up on life. Let's start the mission. Instead of thinking of ways to guard against Zhang Jiasen, it was better to become stronger and crush Zhang Jiasen into the mud. In fact, Ning Shu was a little afraid of Zhang Jiasen. It wasn't easy for him to succeed in a counterattack for someone else, only to find that the person he took so much effort to defeat had suddenly appeared. And he was even stronger than before. It was even more frightening than seeing a ghost in broad daylight. Ning Shu felt a wave of dizziness from the teleportation, and his soul entered a body. Before he opened his eyes, he felt an oppressive and tense atmosphere. Ning Shu felt his heart beating wildly. Ning Shu quickly opened his eyes and found himself in a forest. There were many people around him, and they were of different ages. The youngest was 7 or 8 years old, and the oldest was 15 or 16. There were boys and girls in the group. Ning Shu was sizing up her surroundings when she suddenly saw a ferocious wild boar with tusks comparable to elephant tusks, a fat and strong body, and a bristling mane rushing out from the forest. If he was stabbed by the wild boar's tusks, he definitely wouldn't survive. When Ning Shu saw the wild boar, the others naturally saw it too. They immediately screamed and scattered. Some of the smarter children even climbed up the tree. When Ning Shu saw the wild boar, she avoided it without thinking. She saw that the 7 or 8-year-old child next to her seemed to be frightened, staring blankly at the wild boar. Ning Shu grabbed his arm and ran away. Because Ning Shu was dragging a child, he couldn't run fast. The others hid, and the wild boar stared at Ning Shu and the child. The wild boar ran very fast and was about to catch up. Ning Shu saw a withered branch. He threw the child away and picked up the branch on the ground. Ning Shu held the branch and looked at the wild boar running towards him. He felt something in his body become restless, as if it was about to burst out. This feeling was very strange, as if there was a giant beast trapped in her body. Ning Shu instinctively suppressed this power that was eager to rush out of her body. Ning Shu planned to stab the wild boar's eyes with a branch, but before the wild boar could run in front of Ning Shu, it was entangled by a ribbon and couldn't break free. Ning Shu looked in the direction of the ribbon and saw a little girl about 12 years old. She was holding a ribbon in her hand, and her fair face was covered in sweat. She seemed to be struggling. Ning Shu didn't hesitate. He held the wooden stick in his hand and stabbed it into the eyes of the wild boar that was struggling to break free from the ribbon. Ning Shu pierced the wild boar's eyes. The wild boar let out a shrill cry and struggled even harder. Finally, it broke free from the ribbon. This beast was very vengeful. After being blinded by Ning Shu, it howled and chased after Ning Shu. Just as Ning Shu was about to be caught, a folding fan appeared in the air with a whoosh. The folding fan slashed across the wild boar's neck. The wild boar's head was cut off, and blood spurted out. But there was no blood on the folding fan. The wild boar that lost its head ran for a while before it fell down, its body twitching. Ning Shu fell to the ground with a plop. His legs were weak, and he wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. The child that was thrown out by Ning Shu ran over. Ning Shu asked, "Are you okay?" Ning Shu shook his head. The girl who used the ribbon as a weapon also came over. She looked at Ning Shu from head to toe. "Fortunately, the real person saved you. Otherwise, you would be dead." "Thank you." Ning Shu thanked her. "You are so powerful." The girl snorted. She was a little proud. After the wild boar was killed, the people who were hiding also came out and surrounded them. After being scared by the wild boar, everyone's face was still in shock. Two people came with the wind and stopped in front of the group of people. Seeing these two people flying in the air, the group of children was so envious that their eyes turned green. They were shocked. Ning Shu saw one of the men. His face was as clear as jade, and his posture was confident and at ease. He also had the temperament of a cultivator. His expression was languid, and he held a folding fan. It was obvious that he was the one who had killed the wild boar. When Ning Shu saw this man, his heart was filled with complicated emotions. He felt bitter and frustrated. In short, it was very complicated. Ning Shu silently chanted the clear heart incantation and suppressed the feeling in his heart. Cultivators had sharp senses. His abnormality would definitely be noticed by others. "Tonight, you guys will spend the night in this forest. Tomorrow we will start the bone foundation test." Another young cultivator with a big saber on his back said. Hearing that they had to spend the night in the forest, everyone's face turned ugly. Some of the timid people, such as the children that Ning Shu saved, curled their lips and were about to cry. "Tonight, your dinner will be this wild boar." The man with the folding fan pointed at the wild boar with the folding fan and said, "Oh right, there are many wild beasts in this forest. There might even be demonic beasts. Be careful." When these words came out, the children were scared to death. Their faces turned pale. The man with the folding fan smiled. He originally looked like an immortal. When he smiled, it was very seductive. "Coquettish fox." The girl with the ribbon whispered. The man with the folding fan glanced at her with a smile that was not a smile. It was obvious that he had bad intentions. Being stared at by the man like this, the girl was a little scared, but she still straightened her back. Under the reluctant gazes of the crowd, the two of them flew away. The atmosphere was a little stagnant. Everyone looked at each other, but no one said anything. No one went to deal with the wild boar. They said that the wild boar was their dinner, but no one was willing to do it. Ning Shu touched his body and felt a dagger at his waist. He was ready to deal with the wild boar. If the wild boar was placed here, it would attract other carnivores, such as wolves. According to the man, there were also demonic beasts. "What are you doing?" the girl Ning Shu asked. Ning Shu saw that she had saved his life before, so his attitude towards her was very good. He said, "You have to deal with this thing or it will attract other wild beasts." Ning Shu cut open the wild boar's stomach. The wild boar's steaming internal organs and intestines emitted the stench of feces. When the others smelled this stench, they all retreated. It was related to life. Ning Shu endured the stench and pulled out the internal organs. He planned to dig a hole to bury the internal organs. In the end, he found that he did not have any tools to dig a hole. Everyone, help dig a hole to bury this thing. Also, cover the blood on the ground with soil. Ning Shu and the others said. Everyone hesitated for a moment. Some took out knives and some took stones to dig a hole. After working for a while, they dug a hole. Throw the wild boar down with it. How can we eat this thing? It's smelly and hairy. Who wants to eat this thing? That coquettish fox did it on purpose. The girl with the ribbon as a weapon, Ning Shu, said. Chapter 663. When Ning Shu heard that the girl was going to throw the boar away, she asked in surprise, "What are we going to eat if we throw it away? We all have dry food, so we don't need to eat this kind of thing." Ning Shu was speechless. That man said that the wild boar was his dinner, and she really believed him. Who the hell would believe you? She worked hard to cut open the boar's stomach and made it stinky. Ning Shu was also speechless. She endured the stench and dug out the boar's internal organs before the girl said that. Ning Shu was too lazy to work. She grabbed a handful of grass from the ground and wiped the blood off her hands. The whole boar was buried in the pit. After finishing this, everyone leaned against each other. It was almost dark. Some birds in the forest were chirping strangely, making frightening sounds. Especially the mottled shadows of the surrounding trees were very scary. They couldn't help but lean closer to their companions. Some people took out their dry food to eat. Ning Shu touched the bag on her waist and found that there was nothing in it. There was no water in the water bag either. Ning Shu wanted to take out the fasting pills, but then she thought that the two people wouldn't really leave these people behind. They should be nearby watching them. Otherwise, how could they appear in time to kill the boar? A cultivator's divine sense was very strong. Even if she was sneaking around, she would definitely be noticed. Ning Shu didn't dare to take the risk. She was too weak now. Without food, Ning Shu leaned against the tree trunk and closed her eyes to accept the plot. This was a world where humans, demons, and devils existed. Humans cultivated and pursued the great Tao of immortality. Demons were evil and stole the abilities of others to supplement themselves. There were many demons, but they had low spiritual intelligence. The land and the sea were the demons' world. Humans, demons, and devils were the three legs of the tripod. The Tsangming continent was very big. No one knew how big it was. There were many dangerous and unknown places. This was a world full of killing, and the strong were respected. Demons liked to devour the essence of cultivators, but cultivators had to resist in order to survive. The two races had been fighting constantly. As for demons, they were very loose and had no leader. Sometimes, they were given to cultivators as treasures. Human cultivators took out their internal elixirs and removed their bones and tendons. To become food on the plate, the devil race would also hunt down the demonic beasts. The advantage of the demonic beasts was their large numbers, and their weakness was their low intelligence. But conversely, there were also human cultivators who ended up in the bellies of the beasts. If you're strong, you'll live. If you're weak, you'll die. The original owner, Xiao Susu, was a mixed blood child. Her father was a powerful demon while her mother was a human cultivator. Her father captured her mother and raped her. Unexpectedly, she got pregnant and gave birth to Xiao Susu, a mixed blood child. After giving birth to Xiao Susu's mother wanted to commit suicide by self-detonation. However, her father absorbed her profound qi and she aged instantly. In the end, only her skin remained. Xiao Susu grew up in a demon's den. Because she had the blood of a human in her body, she didn't have the talent of a demon. She was reduced to a pitiful existence and was often bullied. When she was 15 or 16 years old, Xiao Susu's father had placed a restriction on her body to hide her devil bloodline. She was then allowed to join the Immortal Form sect and steal the sect's divine weapon, the profound Yang sword. This sword was made with the most Yang material in the world. When it was made, it was mixed with the blood of a person with the most Yang body. It was especially harmful to demons. Xiao Susu's father was very powerful in the demon race. He had always carried out the idea of raising humans into human slaves. At that time, he kept Xiao Susu as his daughter because he wanted to steal the divine weapon. Xiao Susu successfully sneaked into the immortal form sect and became Qing Huajun's disciple. Who was this Qing Huajun? He was the man who was holding the folding fan just now. He was the youngest spirit-severing expert in the cultivation world. His talent was top-notch. Moreover, this person had a lazy personality. He had a feeling of wanting to see the world in chaos. He was neither good nor evil. After Xiao Susu became this person's disciple, facing this celestial master, she started to have some thoughts after a long time. However, Qing Huajun doted on Yu Ling Er, who also became his disciple. Yu Ling Er was a little girl who used a ribbon as a weapon. Yu Ling Er was a princess of a country in the secular world. Because she had dual spiritual roots, she was sent to the cultivation world by the royal family. This little girl was a little arrogant like a princess. However, her personality was very simple. She was straightforward and said whatever she wanted to say. She was often played around by her master, who was like a fox. Xiao Susu had low self-esteem and was very quiet. She was also very respectful to her master. She was not as rude as Yu Ling Er, but her presence was much lower than Yu Ling Er's. Compared to staying in the demon race's territory, Xiao Susu preferred to stay in the immortal form sect. Her master would guide her cultivation. Being able to see Qing Huajun filled her heart with sweetness. Because of this, Xiao Susu endured the pain of the restriction. Not only could this restriction hide Xiao Susu's demon bloodline, it would also activate after a period of time. When activated, it would be like thousands of ants biting a bone. Her father, who was far away in the demon race's territory, could even kill Xiao Susu with a single thought. However, when the restriction activated once, Xiao Susu was found to have demon qi in her body. The human race hated the demon race to the core. They would kill any demon they met. The demon race not only wanted the essence of cultivators, but also the essence of ordinary people. The hatred between the two races was irreconcilable. The immortal form sect naturally wanted to kill Xiao Susu. However, Qing Huajun resisted the pressure and saved Xiao Susu. Xiao Susu was touched that Qing Huajun saved her. She honestly told him the reason why she came to the immortal form sect. Qing Huajun said that the human race could not keep Xiao Susu. He even gave Xiao Susu the profound Yang sword. Xiao Susu took the profound Yang sword back to the demon race with tears in her eyes and gave it to her father. Just as Xiao Susu's father took the profound Yang sword, the profound Yang sword suddenly exploded. This little bit of attack power was nothing to Xiao Susu's father. However, the blood-devouring insect hidden in the profound Yang sword took the opportunity to drill into his heart. Qing Huajun was a person who did whatever he wanted. He did not care about what the righteous sects were particular about. As long as it was effective, he would try it. Thus, he used Xiao Susu to sneak attack Xiao Susu's father. This method was obviously effective. The demon race's cultivation relied on blood essence. The blood-devouring insect drilled into his heart and devoured his blood essence, causing his strength to deteriorate. Xiao Susu's father was so angry that he directly sucked Xiao Susu dry. The demon race did not have any kinship. They only had strength. Strength was everything. Xiao Susu was born in a daze. Because of her bloodline, she was not allowed to exist in this world. The human race could not tolerate her, and the demon race would not care about a bastard who did not even have the talent of the demon race. And her respected master also used her. Being treated like this by the person she loved, Xiao Susu was very painful. It was even more painful than being sucked dry by her father. Qing Huajun gave her a little bit of warmth, which warmed Xiao Susu's heart. However, he cruelly took back this warmth. Xiao Susu was at a loss. She did not know what her life was. The reason why Ning Shu counterattacked was because she wanted to get rid of the pain of her bloodline. The root of Xiao Susu's pain was because she was not strong enough. When her father placed restrictions on her, she could not resist and was used by Qing Huajun. It was also because she was a weak ant that did not need to care about. The hatred between the two races was as deep as the ocean. When Xiao Susu's identity was exposed, Qing Huajun did not treat her as his disciple. To put it bluntly, it was all because of strength. Chapter 664. After accepting the storyline, Ning Shu felt hungry. Seeing that everyone around him had something to eat, he felt even hungrier. For you. A biscuit was handed to Ning Shu. When Ning Shu turned around, he saw the boy holding a biscuit. Ning Shu took the biscuit, thanked the boy, and bit into it. The biscuit tasted very good, and the fragrance of the meat overflowed in his mouth. It's delicious, right? My mother made it for me. The boy approached Ning Shu. I'm Chiu Mu. What about you? Right, thank you for saving me. It's fine. Ning Shu looked at Chiu Mu. You're so young. Would your family trust you to come? Of course not. But my father said that I'm talented, and it's better for me to come to the Immortal Transformation sect as soon as possible. Chiu Mu looked indignant. If I knew it was so dangerous, I wouldn't have come. How talented are you? Ning Shu asked. My father tested me. I have the metal spirit root with the strongest attack power. Moreover, I have a single spirit root. Chiu Mu raised his chin slightly, looking proud. The less spirit roots one had, the more talented they were. Moreover, they cultivated faster than those with multiple spirit roots. As long as they didn't die midway, they would be a dazzling expert. With Chiu Mu's talent, he would definitely be a hot commodity in the Immortal Transformation sect. Ning Shu originally wanted to cultivate a peerless martial art, but after thinking about it, it was better not to cultivate under the watchful eyes of others. In fact, Ning Shu didn't want to enter the Immortal Transformation sect, nor did he want to steal the profound Yang sword. If the restriction activated, it would be easy for others to detect the demonic qi in his body. The restriction suppressed the demonic bloodline and the demonic qi in his body. However, the demonic qi couldn't be suppressed forever, so the restriction would activate once in a while. Xiao Susu had a bit of demonic qi in her body, but she didn't have the talent of the demonic race. She also couldn't absorb the essence of others like the demonic race. Ning Shu leaned against the tree trunk while Chiu Mu leaned against Ning Shu. Ning Shu glanced at him, and Chiu Mu immediately straightened his back. I'm leaning against you because I think highly of you. Ning Shu, under this little brat, get lost. Ning Shu did not pay any attention to him. She closed her eyes and leaned against the tree trunk to rest. When she calmed down, she could feel that someone was spying on her. Fortunately, she was cautious enough and did not take out any fasting pills, nor did she practice any exceptional martial arts. He could not reveal his identity under the watchful eyes of the Immortal Form sect. Otherwise, only death awaited him. When encountering devils, humans would kill them without mercy. Although Ning Shu's eyes were closed, he was constantly paying attention to his surroundings. However, the next morning, they didn't encounter any danger. No dangerous beasts or demonic beasts approached them. It was clear that there were people protecting them. There were many talented children among them. If something happened to them, the Immortal Form sect would definitely be heartbroken. Moreover, all the major cultivation sects would snatch disciples with good innate talent. Ning Shu opened his eyes and pushed away Chiu Mu, who was leaning on his shoulder. His shoulder was covered in Chiu Mu's saliva. Chiu Mu was pushed away by Ning Shu. She rubbed her eyes and woke up, asking, "What's wrong?" Everyone woke up one after another and yawned. Qing Huajun and the young man carrying a large blade came over. Beside Qing Huajun was Gong Hao, a blade cultivator. He was in the Golden Core stage and was in charge of the disciple recruitment this time. Qing Huajun was in the spirit severing stage and had a very high status in the Immortal Form sect. There was no need for him to do such a thing. It was because he was too bored that he came here purely to watch the show. Qing Huajun met Yu Ling and began his interesting life of teaching his disciple. Qing Huajun held a folding fan and scanned everyone present. Those who were scanned by him all straightened their backs and looked at Qing Huajun with respect. Qing Huajun's gaze swept past Ning Shu's face and finally stopped on Yu Ling. A faint smile appeared on his face. Yu Ling immediately felt that Qing Huajun was up to no good and had a bad premonition. Ning Shu looked at Qing Huajun and Yu Ling from the corner of his eyes. This was the story of the old fox and the little white rabbit. Ning Shu and Yu Ling did not have any conflicts. Even in the storyline, Yu Ling did not hurt Xiao Susu. As Yu Ling's senior sister, Xiao Susu was older than Yu Ling. Naturally, she would not purposely cause trouble for Yu Ling. Master doted on Yu Ling and Xiao Susu was jealous. However, Xiao Susu, who was inferior, would not express it. Xiao Susu and Yu Ling minded their own business. Furthermore, Xiao Susu came to the Immortal Form sect with impure intentions. Thus, she did not dare to cause any trouble. Although she felt inferior and resigned, it still could not save her life. Her birth was a sin. Now, let's go to the Immortal Form sect to test your bone structure. Gong Hao said. As soon as Gong Hao finished speaking, a smile appeared on everyone's face. Qing Huajun looked at these excited people and smiled. It was the expression of someone who was watching a show. Yu Ling could not help but pout. Flirtatious fox. Walk from here to the entrance of the Immortal Form sect and climb up 5,000 steps. These are all part of the test. Gong Hao said. Walk over. This place was 5 to 6 miles away from the Immortal Form sect. If it was a cultivator, he would be able to reach it in a breath's time. However, for these people who had not even started cultivating, running 5 to 6 miles was definitely tiring. Moreover, they still had to climb 5,000 steps. Hurry up and run. There will be a reward for the first place. Qing Huajun floated on the tree branch like a god descending to the mortal world. Hearing that there was a reward, these children were all excited and ran in the direction Qing Huajun pointed. With competition, these children ran as fast as they could, not willing to give in. They used all their strength to fight for the reward mentioned by Qing Huajun. Ning Shu looked at the direction Qing Huajun pointed. It was not the direction of the Immortal Form sect at all. Instead, it was the opposite direction. If they discovered it early, it would be fine. If they did not and ran far away, it would be a waste of time. Martial uncle. Gong Hao helplessly shouted at Qing Huajun. Qing Huajun waved his fan without a care. Seeing that there were still a few people who were not moving, he raised his eyebrows. Why are you guys still not running? The reward is pills, precious cultivation techniques, and magic tools. Qing Huajun's voice was very pleasant to the ears, with a strong sense of temptation. TSK, slutty fox. Yu Ling pouted and muttered very softly. Qing Huajun looked at Yu Ling with a smile that was not a smile. He closed his fan and squinted his eyes. Obviously, he was thinking of some interesting ideas. Ning Shu felt that the treatment of the main character was indeed different. Cultivators could see clearly, see the legs of mosquitoes, and hear small things. For example, Qing Huajun would definitely hear Yu Ling's voice. Yu Ling offended Qing Huajun twice, but he did not say anything. Why are you guys not running? Gong Hao asked the remaining people. One of the youths said, I know that the Immortal Form sect is not in that direction. Qing Huajun looked at the youth. Oh, the kid from the Li family. The youth respectfully cupped his fist and bowed. Chapter 665. For those kids who were tricked by Qing Huajun. Qing Huajun was a black-bellied person who only wished for the world to be in chaos. Ning Shu even suspected that Qing Huajun knew the identity of the original owner of the body, but he still accepted the original owner of the body as his disciple. The original owner of the body did not have a good aptitude. She had 3 spiritual roots of earth, wood and fire. Although she could successfully build her foundation, it would be difficult for her to go further. If she had a special opportunity, she might be able to achieve the Jindan realm. The more Ning Shu thought about it, the more he felt that Xiao Susu must have exposed herself long ago and was found out by Qing Huajun. Thinking about this, Ning Shu did not want to go to Immortal Transformation sect anymore. She wanted to leave. But now was definitely not the time. She had already reached this step. If she said that she wanted to leave, it would definitely arouse suspicion. Everyone wanted to be able to cultivate and pursue the Tao of immortality. Not to mention, there was a time bomb in her body. Xiao Susu's father had placed a restriction on her body. With just a thought, she would explode into minced meat. What about you guys? Why aren't you running? Qing Huajun looked at Ning Shu, Qiu Mu, and Yu Ling. I still need this woman to protect me. Qiu Mu approached Ning Shu and said, Ning Shu, what the fuck? Who wants to protect you? You're a man and you need a woman to protect you. Shame on you. I don't believe you. Yu Ling pouted. Ning Shu said, I'm hungry. I didn't eat breakfast. My legs are weak. Qing Huajun curled his lips and did not say anything. Are you hungry? I'll give you some biscuits. Qiu Mu took out a meat biscuit from the bag. Ning Shu took it and started eating. Later, they still had to walk to the entrance of Immortal Transformation Sect and climb the stairs. Qiu Mu saw that Ning Shu was enjoying the biscuits and also ate a biscuit. The others also took out their biscuits to eat. It was just that the poor kids who were tricked by Qing Huajun did not eat anything and had to do intense exercise. After Ning Shu finished eating the biscuit, he asked Qiu Mu for another one. Qiu Mu gave Ning Shu one and muttered, Why did you eat so much? My mother made this biscuit for me. Qiu Mu was dressed in luxurious clothes, and it was obvious that he was the young master of a great clan. Previously, Ning Shu had helped him out in passing, and now he was relying on Ning Shu. If you want me to protect you, you should at least give me some compensation. Isn't your life worth 2 pieces of bread? Ning Shu said. Autumn Wood narrowed his eyes. People say that one shouldn't ask for anything in return for a favor. You're taking advantage of this favor to get something in return. This child, Ning Shu, had eaten and sat on the ground to rest. He still had to run a marathon later. People ran back one after another. When they ran back, they sat down on the ground. Their faces were pale and they were panting heavily. Ning Shu felt tired just by looking at it. Gong Hao, go and see if there's anyone who hasn't returned yet. Qing Huajun said to Gong Hao. Gong Hao cupped his hands and went to find the people who ran away. After a while, Gong Hao came back with one person in each hand. Spiritual Master, why did you lie to us? One person stood out and asked. Qing Huajun raised his eyebrows, and his eyes were filled with contempt. So what if I lied to you? Is the path to immortality really that easy to pursue? This world is very dangerous, and there are endless monsters. There are also demons who see humans as food. There are also those of the same race with evil hearts. You believe me just because I said something? Those demons who are good at bewitching people. If they say something, you will obediently send yourself into their mouths. Qing Huajun's expression was arrogant and disdainful. His words made the indignant expressions on the faces of those who were deceived disappear, and they were all ashamed. Start running now. Run to the front of the Black Heaven sect. Qing Huajun said coldly. At this moment, his body was surging with the aura of an expert, making it difficult for people to breathe. Run in this direction. Gong Hao pointed in a direction. Some of the people who were deceived were skeptical. Seeing that the others were running, they hurriedly followed. They felt very bitter, and their stomachs were empty. They had not rested enough and had to start running again. Woman, if I can't run anymore later, you have to carry me. Qiu Mu said Ning Shu. Ning Shu's face darkened, and he kicked Qiu Mu's butt. I'm not your servant. Qiu Mu glared at Ning Shu. You are so violent. I thought you were okay before, and wanted you to be my wife in the future. Now I don't want you. Ning Shu, fuck off. Ning Shu ran slowly at a constant speed, and he was lagging behind. Seeing the people running in front of him, he did not care about the prize. Maybe the prize was Qing Huajun's trick again. He would definitely do something like that. Qiu Mu ran beside Ning Shu, and he was panting. Can you let me lean on you? I'm so tired. Young Master Qiu Mu had never suffered like this before, and he was panting like a cow. Ning Shu ignored him and ran slowly. Qiu Mu and Ning Shu were slowly lagging behind. Qiu Mu was relieved. Luckily you are with me. Ning Shu, Yu Ling, was running at the front. Yu Ling, had already started cultivating, and her body was better than ordinary people. Ning Shu looked at the exhausted Qiu Mu. You are so talented, why haven't you started cultivating? My father is so tired. Don't talk to me. Qiu Mu looked at Ning Shu. Carry me and I will tell you. I don't want to know. Chiao Mu. After running to the front of the Shantian sect, Ning Shu felt like his legs were filled with lead, and he could not lift them. Chiao Mu knelt on the ground, and then he lay on the ground. He was as soft as a slug, and he crawled to Ning Shu's feet. "Help me." Ning Shu, underneath. Ning Shu grabbed Chiao Mu's collar and pulled him up. Because of the protection of the protective mountain array, the Shantian sect did not appear. In front of them was a vast expanse of white, and they could not see anything. As the protective mountain array opened, the majestic Shantian sect appeared. The 3 words, Shantian sect, were majestic and righteous, and they were like dragons flying in the sky. There was also an endless flight of stairs, and they did not know where the stairs led to. "Start climbing now," Qing Huajun said calmly. Chiao Mu wailed. He was going to die. Ning Shu stepped on the stairs, and the surrounding scenery was suddenly surrounded by a thick fog. She could only see the stairs, and she was the only one on the stairs. She could not see anyone else at all. Ning Shu guessed that this should be a Dharma artifact. Ning Shu slowly climbed up the stairs. At first, she did not feel it, but the higher she went, the heavier the pressure became. It was very uncomfortable, and it felt like her lungs were about to explode. Ning Shu could only climb 1 step after a long time. After thinking about it, she sat on the stairs and was too lazy to climb up. Ning Shu did not really want to enter the Shantian sect. Xiao Susu wanted to change her fate, and changing her fate did not necessarily mean that she had to stay in the Shantian sect. Moreover, staying in the Shantian sect was easy to be exposed. It would be better if she was eliminated. Xiao Susu did not ask her to deal with Qing Huajun. She would wait until she completed the mission and Xiao Susu returned. She wanted to become strong enough to change the pain of her bloodline and break free from the shackles of her bloodline. This mission was much simpler. After leaving the immortal transformation sect, she thought of a way to remove the restriction on her body. With the restriction, her life was in the hands of others. Chapter 666. Ning Shu felt a little tired. Since he did not plan to enter the Black Heaven sect, he sat cross-legged on the steps and closed his eyes to rest. The surrounding spirit energy was very dense. Ning Shu resisted the urge to cultivate a peerless martial art until he left the Black Heaven sect. However, he felt refreshed just by smelling the spirit energy. Cultivating a peerless martial art in a world like this would definitely benefit him greatly. Hopefully, he would be able to cultivate the golden coiling dragon energy. Ning Shu could even feel the spirit energy slowly entering his body, forming a spirit energy mist in his dantian. Ning Shu was a little shocked. He did not cultivate at all, but the spirit energy was entering his body. He was so scared. He had never encountered such a situation before. Could this body be so talented that it could absorb spirit energy at any time? What a joke! If Xiao Susu had this kind of talent, she would not have fallen to the point of being used by others. Ning Shu stood up. The spirit energy was still entering his body. It was very comfortable. However, Ning Shu was horrified. The situation was too strange. After waiting for the test to end, the steps disappeared. Ning Shu stood in the square. There were people sitting or lying on the ground around him. They looked exhausted and their faces were pale. Some of them even had blood oozing out of their skin. It was obvious that their bodies could not bear the pressure of climbing the steps. In comparison, Ning Shu found that she was the most comfortable because her body had absorbed the spiritual energy, which made her feel very comfortable. Facing these gazes, Ning Shu immediately sat on the ground and supported his forehead with his hand, pretending to be exhausted. Next was the test for spirit roots. An immortal form sect disciple brought out a black stone. There were patterns on the surface of the black stone, and the material was similar to jade. This should be the tool for testing spirit roots. Line up to test your spirit roots, an immortal form sect disciple said. Li Xen, earth and wood dual spirit roots. Li Yi, water single spirit root. Yu Ling, air, water and earth dual spirit roots. Help me up. I can't get up, Chiao Mu said to Ning Shu. He was very anxious when he saw that everyone else had their spirit roots tested. Ning Shu grabbed Chiao Mu's collar and pulled him up. Autumn wood held the black stone. The black stone turned golden, as pure as gold. Chiyomu. Metal spiritual root. Single spiritual root. The immortal form sect disciple raised his voice. Chiyomu turned around and looked at Ning Shu. I've already said that I have a metal spirit root. Xiao Susu. The disciple called Ning Shu's name. Ning Shu placed his hand on the black stone. There were 3 colors on the black stone: brown, green, and red. Earth, wood, and fire were the 3 spiritual roots. When Chiyomu saw Ning Shu's aptitude, he frowned. Why is your aptitude so bad? Don't worry, I'll protect you from now on. Ning Shu smiled and said, thank you. Everyone's spiritual root attribute would be recorded in the book, and those without spiritual roots would have to go back and forth. After the test, the group of people was brought to the main hall. The hall was filled with powerful cultivators. Now, they were here to select disciples. Qing Huajun was also among them. He held a folding fan in his hand and looked at Yuling Air immediately. The group of people first bowed to the sect master and elders in the hall, then waited to be selected. People with single spiritual roots were very popular, especially Chiyomu, who had a metal spiritual root. Even the head elder, who was in seclusion, was alerted. The head elder relied on his high cultivation and the reason that he wouldn't waste his talent because he also had a metal spiritual root. He snatched Chiyomu away. The head elder took Chiyomu as his disciple and gave him a magic tool as a gift. Everyone was so envious that their eyes turned red. The head elder took Chiyomu away. When Chiyomu passed by Ning Shu, he said, wait for me to find you. Ning Shu smiled. This kid was quite cute. Let's go. You're not allowed to wander around before forming your core. The head elder glanced at Ning Shu. He grabbed Chiyomu's head and took him away. Qing Huajun, you're already in the soul formation stage. It's time to take in disciples. The sect master said to Qing Huajun. He started taking in disciples when he was in the golden core stage, but Qing Huajun didn't have a single disciple. Qing Huajun closed his fan and said casually, then I'll just randomly pick 2 disciples. Qing Huajun pointed at Ning Shu. You'll be my head disciple from now on. Everyone else was shocked. The sect master said, this girl has a triple mixed spiritual root. It's better to pick someone with talent. It's okay. I'm just randomly picking. Since I randomly picked her, it means that we're fated to be master and disciple. Qing Huajun said casually. Ning Shu, sigh. How did she end up in his hands? The plot was so powerful. He thought he was eliminated. The sect master didn't agree with Qing Huajun's casual choice. This girl only walked 200 steps. Not only is her talent not good, even her willpower is not good. With her talent, she can only be an outer sect disciple. How can she be your head disciple? The sect master frowned. There are other people with good talent here. Qing Huajun said casually, it's okay. Since I picked her, she'll be the one. Seeing Qing Huajun like this, Ning Shu finally understood how Xiao Susu felt. In the demon race, Xiao Susu was bullied by everyone. Without strength, it would be difficult for her to even survive. No one cared about her. But now a master appeared and insisted on taking her as his disciple. Xiao Susu felt warmth. Even if she was pushed out to be cannon fodder in the end, Xiao Susu didn't have much hatred towards Qing Huajun. Ning Shu half knelt on the ground and called Qing Huajun master. Master looked at Yuling Air. The second disciple will be this girl. Yuling Air's face instantly turned black. She didn't want this slutty fox to be her master at all. She had a feeling that her future life would definitely be a disaster. Yuling Air looked at Qing Huajun. He had a smile on his face, which made him look even more handsome and elegant. Yuling Air didn't dare to say that she didn't want Qing Huajun to be her master in front of so many people. Qing Huajun was a powerful cultivator in the soul formation stage. If that happened, her father would break her legs. Yuling Air knelt down with difficulty and called Qing Huajun master. Good girl, follow me and cultivate well. Qing Huajun said lightly. Qing Huajun brought Ning Shu and Yuling Air to Qinghua Peak. This peak was Qing Huajun's. The environment was very good. It was like a paradise. Ning Shu's nose twitched. There was so much spirit chi here. And these spirit chi were all squeezing into Ning Shu's body and drilling into Ning Shu's pores. Here it is again. Ning Shu was speechless. She didn't cultivate. Why would the spirit chi automatically drill into her body? Why? Ning Shu didn't know what was going on. He was mentally retarded the whole time. When they arrived at the main hall, Qing Huajun sat down and said to Ning Shu and Yu Ling Er, "From today onwards, you two are disciples of Qing Hua Peak. Cultivate well and don't get eaten by the demons." Qing Huajun looked at Ning Shu and said, "You have the earth, wood, and fire elements. You need to choose your main spiritual root to cultivate. Which spiritual root do you want to cultivate?" Ning Shu looked like he couldn't make up his mind. He said, "Disciple doesn't know what to choose. The earth element has strong defensive abilities. The wood element has strong healing abilities. The attack power of the fire element is also not bad." Qing Huajun explained to Ning Shu like a master. Chapter 667. Ning Shu pondered in her heart. In this world, she could cultivate peerless martial arts. Peerless martial arts would give her immense strength, and her close combat ability would be greatly enhanced. Furthermore, she could release her chi to attack people. Then what she needed was the defensive ability of the earth element. Ning Shu said to Qing Huajun, "Disciple chooses earth element as my major." Qing Huajun nodded and gave Ning Shu a jade scroll. This is the earth element cultivation technique. Ning Shu took the jade scroll. "Thank you, master. You can leave first, the servant will arrange a room for you," Qing Huajun said. Ning Shu bowed and left, leaving only Qing Huajun and Yu Ling Er in the room. Yu Ling Er kept winking at Ning Shu, telling Ning Shu not to leave. She did not want to face this coquettish fox. No, no. Ning Shu was like an idiot, completely unable to see Yu Ling Er's signal and left obediently. The servant brought Ning Shu to the room. The room was very ordinary, and Ning Shu was not picky, as long as she could sleep. After closing the door, Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the bed and started to cultivate the peerless martial arts. As soon as Ning Shu started to cultivate, the surrounding spirit energy crazily rushed into her body. Not long after, streams of qi were formed in her dantian, and then these streams of qi wandered to every corner of her body, invading her cells. Ning Shu clenched her fist, feeling that her body was filled with strength. However, this speed was too fast, so fast that Ning Shu was a bit scared. She knew that in a world with abundant spirit energy, cultivating peerless martial arts would be very powerful. But this was the first time she saw it so fast. Ning Shu repeatedly recalled the plot. Xiao Susu's talent was not good. So abnormal. 2333, "I'm scared, what's going on?" Ning Shu called out to 2333, feeling that something was wrong. Is such a heaven-defying cultivation speed something that a cannon fodder like her should have? She felt that her strength was so great that she could kick the door in half. 2333's voice rang in Ning Shu's mind. "What are you afraid of? The spiritual energy is actively running into my body. When I cultivate, the spiritual energy seems to have gone crazy. What's going on?" Ning Shu asked. 2333 was silent for a while. "Maybe it's just your imagination. Fucking retard, how could an illusion be like this? I'll cultivate again. Just watch." Ning Shu began operating his peerless martial art. Next, spiritual energy surged into Ning Shu's body. The spirit qi above his head formed a funnel-like whirlpool. The spirit qi poured into Ning Shu's body, and the spirit qi water droplets floated in his dantian. The force of the peerless martial art became thicker and thicker, and it lingered in his dantian. Ning Shu stopped his training and asked 2333, "Yes, I saw it. Just the training formation alone is scary." "What happened?" 2333 asked. Ning Shu was speechless. "I'm fucking asking you. Is something wrong?" Ning Shuchao asked 2333. 2333 said, "I'm not sure about the situation right now. Let's take it one step at a time." Ning Shu stared blankly at him, speechless. His heart was tired. Ning Shu felt that it was because he had been cultivating his peerless martial art for so long that he could cultivate so fast. He took out the earth-type cultivation technique that Qing Huajun gave him. He injected his spiritual energy into the Jade Scroll and started to cultivate according to the instructions in the Jade Scroll. It felt quite difficult. Then, Ning Shu realized that the earth-type spiritual energy in the air was crazily rushing into his body. Soon, he reached the second level of the technique. Ning Shu was speechless. What the fuck is going on? 2333, I think you should check what's going on. Ning Shu said. This situation was too abnormal. He had never encountered such a situation before. I've searched but there's no result. 2333 said. If you're strong then so be it. If you cultivate fast, then hurry up. However, this feeling was too unrealistic. The key was that Xiao Susu wasn't in such a situation. Xiao Susu was a poor person who was stuck in the middle of the human demons and had no place to stand. If Xiao Susu's cultivation speed was like a rocket, she wouldn't be able to help Xiao Susu turn the tide. In short, something wasn't right. There was a conspiracy. Ning Shu stopped cultivating. He opened the door and walked around. He looked at the elegant flowers around him. There was a fragrance in the breeze. He didn't walk far before he met Yuling. Yulinger's face was red and she looked angry. When Yuling saw Ning Shu, she shouted, "Senior sister. What's wrong with you?" Ning Shu had a smile on his face. In Ning Shu's eyes, Yuling was still a little girl. She looked like she was 11 or 12 years old and her chest had just started to develop. However, Qing Huajun liked this child. There were so many female cultivators in the Immortal Form sect who wanted to become Dao companions with the peerless Qing Huajun. Master told me to water the flowers and weed the grass every day. Yuling felt that Qing Huajun did it on purpose. She was a princess, why did she have to do such things? Before Ning Shu could say anything, Qing Huajun's voice sounded in his ear. You should be punished for speaking ill of Master behind his back. Yuling heard it too. Her face turned green. If it wasn't for the fact that she couldn't beat Qing Huajun, she would have fought him. Seeing Yuling like this, she didn't know how she offended Qing Huajun. Yuling come to the main hall. Qing Huajun said. Yuling walked towards the main hall dejectedly. Anyway, Qing Huajun found pleasure in torturing Yuling. The Qing Huajun who didn't touch the mortal world asked Yuling to cook for him. He asked Yuling to cook for him. "It's so dirty." He ordered Yuling around, but he taught her cultivation step by step. He even used his fan to hit Yulinger's head and said that she was stupid. Under the guidance of Qing Huajun, Yulinger's strength improved very quickly. She had completely forgotten about Ning Shu, and only occasionally asked about Ning Shu's cultivation progress. Other times, she rarely asked about it. Yuling cried to Ning Shu. Why did Master only torture her and not him? Why was there such a difference in treatment? Ning Shu didn't know what to say. He only treated her as his disciple. Qing Huajun rarely let Yuling stay together. As long as the two of them stayed together for a long time, Qing Huajun would use all kinds of reasons to send Yuling away. Ning Shu saw this and felt that Qing Huajun knew his identity. Yulinger's cultivation speed was very fast, but Ning Shu was very afraid of his own cultivation speed. As long as she cultivated, spirit energy would rush into her body. It was as if she was rushing to be reincarnated. There was already a dragon of spirit energy in her dantian. The spirit energy formed by the peerless martial arts turned into a dragon and swam around in her dantian. When the peerless martial arts were cultivated to the extreme, the spirit energy would turn into a golden dragon. This situation had only happened once. It was when she became Wei Liangyue. Because of the spirit marrow crystal, the spirit energy turned into a golden dragon. Although she didn't have any spirit energy and didn't turn golden, she was strong enough. She crushed the pebbles into powder. How terrifying! Also, the earth element cultivation technique was cultivated to the 10th level. There were a total of 12 levels. She fucking reached the 10th level in one go. She could feel the ground under her feet moving slightly. The sound of roots digging into the ground was very magical. Chapter 668. Ning Shu didn't follow the steps of cultivation. She didn't follow the steps of foundation establishment, Jindan, Yuanying, and soul formation. Ning Shu realized that peerless martial arts were actually more powerful than any other cultivation method. His dantian could contain a lot of qi, and these qi would slowly grow and form a golden dragon. And this qi dragon seemed to be alive, as if it had its own consciousness. Ning Shu really wanted to release her qi gene. She wanted to see how powerful her qi gene would be if she released it. But the entire Qinghua Peak was under Qinhuajun's watch, so Ning Shu didn't dare to take the risk. But why was her cultivation speed so fast? There was still no explanation for this. Ning Shu wanted to cry every time he cultivated. Why did this happen? Was there a bug in this world? Ning Shu would stay in his room when he had nothing to do and rarely went to Qinhuajun. Ning Shu felt that he couldn't beat Qinhuajun with his current strength. And Qinhuajun was also favored by the heavens, so his cultivation speed would only be fast. Ning Shu could only work hard on his cultivation. Fairy Xiao, Qinhuajun asked you to go to the main hall. The little boy stood in front of Ning Shu's door and said. Ning Shu's heart skipped a beat. He had a bad feeling about this. He tidied up his clothes and opened the door. Ning Shu arrived at the main hall and saw Qinhuajun knocking Yuling Air's head with his fan. Wrong, this is not how you do it. Has your brain been eaten by a pig? Yuling Air was about to break down. My brain has been eaten by you. If you knock my head again, I will really become stupid. Who are you calling a pig? Qinhuajun knocked Yuling Air's head again. Yuling Air was so angry that she wanted to bite him. Qinhuajun saw Ning Shu standing at the door and stopped smiling. Come in. Ning Shu stepped over the door and walked in. Yuling Air bowed to Ning Shu. Senior sister. Ning Shu returned the greeting. Little junior sister. Go and water the flowers. You are not allowed to use any spells. Remember to go to the waterfall to fetch water. Also, you are not allowed to let the child help you. Qinhuajun said to Yuling Air. Yuling Air's face fell. She stomped her feet, turned around, and left like a fluttering butterfly. It's been almost a month since you came to Qinghua Peak. How do you feel? Qinhuajun said as he waved his hand and closed the door. When Ning Shu saw that Qinhuajun had closed the door, he felt even worse. His body tensed up, and he was secretly vigilant. This disciple is slow-witted. My progress is slow, Ning Shu said. Heh. Qinhuajun chuckled. Out of the two disciples, you've improved the most. The amount of spirit qi in your room has already caught up to me, a demigod. Ning Shu frowned. He was indeed under Qinhuajun's surveillance. Every move was under Qinhuajun's nose. Qinhuajun poured a cup of spiritual tea. His movements were smooth and elegant. He picked up the white porcelain cup and took a sip of tea. A tense atmosphere condensed in the air. Ning Shu's back was covered in sweat. It seemed that Qinhuajun was going to lay all his cards on the table. Qinhuajun put down the porcelain cup and said indifferently, Since you are my disciple, we can be considered as master and disciple. What is your purpose in coming to the immortal transformation sect? Ning Shu secretly circulated the energy in his dantian. When he heard Qinhuajun's words, he pursed his lips and didn't say anything. Qinhuajun stood up. Ning Shu walked over. His footsteps were slow, but Ning Shu felt as if a mountain was slowly pressing down on him. Ning Shu couldn't help but take a few steps back. Qinhuajun looked at Ning Shu. What is the purpose of the demon race coming to my immortal transformation sect? Qinhuajun extended his hand and released a stream of spirit qi to control Ning Shu. Ning Shu released a stream of spirit qi that was circulated to his fingertips. A dragon-shaped stream of spirit qi roared silently and rushed towards Qinhuajun. When Qinhuajun saw this attack, he was stunned for a moment. He frowned and formed hand seals to attack the stream of spirit qi. The dragon-shaped stream of spirit qi seemed to have its own consciousness. It attacked Qinhuajun and at the same time dodged his attacks. But after a few moves, it was scattered by Qinhuajun. The stream of spirit qi returned to Ning Shu's dantian and slowly formed the shape of a dragon. Ning Shu was dumbfounded. He didn't think that the spirit chi released from a peerless martial art would have such a strong attacking power. The stream of spirit chi wasn't golden in color. If it was a golden coiling dragon, wouldn't its defensive power be even stronger? Qing Huajun looked at Ning Shu. What cultivation technique are you cultivating? The folding fan in Qing Huajun's hand spun and transformed into 18 cold swords. Moreover, these swords were constantly splitting apart and densely packed together. The tip of the swords pointed towards Ning Shu. Ning Shu felt that if he moved, he would be stabbed into meat paste. Beads of cold sweat dripped down from his forehead. Qing Huajun walked over and pressed his jade-white hand on Ning Shu's head. Ning Shu immediately felt a majestic spirit chi attacking his dantian from the top of his head. The dragon-shaped stream of spirit chi in his dantian was resisting this attack. This powerful attack activated the restriction hidden in Ning Shu's dantian. The black magic formation emitted a dense black devil chi. The restriction that should still have some time to activate was activated by Qing Huajun in advance. Ning Shu suddenly felt like his body was being run over by a truck. All the bones in his body were about to break. There were also countless ants crawling in his bones, sucking his marrow. Ning Shu cursed inwardly, and I could see that the pain was almost as painful as a vicious curse. Ning Shu sat on the ground with his legs crossed. His body was emitting devil chi and he was in so much pain that his body was trembling. Qing Huajun sat down and picked up a porcelain cup to drink tea. He watched coldly from the side. Not only did Ning Shu have to endure the pain of the restriction, there were also so many swords pointing at him. The restriction would activate for about an hour. When Ning Shu had endured the pain of the restriction, his whole body was in so much pain that his whole body was trembling. The spirit chi in his dantian flowed to every corner of his body, repairing his body that was damaged by the restriction. The black restriction in his dantian slowly disappeared and hid. Ning Shu stood up. The swords in the air immediately moved closer to Ning Shu, as if they wanted to stab him. I know that you are the child of a human and a devil. Although you have the blood of the human race, you also have the blood of the devil race. There is no way for the human race to accept you. You can go back to where you came from. This can also be considered as ending our relationship as master and disciple. Qing Huajun put down the porcelain cup. Ning Shu did not believe a single word that he said after activating the restriction in her body. It was exactly the same as what Xiao Susu said. She had to leave the immortal transformation sect. Under Qing Huajun's eyes, she could not do anything, let alone counterattack. Furthermore, there were some powerful old monsters in the immortal transformation sect. Ning Shu said, "My goal is the profound Yang sword. Once I take the profound Yang sword back, the devil race will release the restriction for me." Qing Huajun raised his eyebrows. "You can believe the words of the devil race. But I have no choice." Ning Shu said. Qing Huajun tapped the table with his finger. "I can give you the profound Yang sword." Ning Shu, I knew you would give me a fake. Chapter 669. You triggered the restriction in her dantian, causing her so much pain that she wanted to die. Now you want to give me the profound Yang sword? Ning Shu had a doubtful expression. "Master, will you really give the divine weapon to your disciple?" "That's a divine weapon. How can you give it away just like that? We're not that close." Qing Huajun glanced at Ning Shu. "The profound Yang sword I gave you is obviously not real. The profound Yang sword is the immortal form sect's divine weapon. It's impossible for me to give it to you. But the profound Yang sword I gave you is almost the same as the real one. It should be enough for you to deal with the demons." Ning Shu's face couldn't help but tremble. She was speechless. Should she thank Qing Huajun? Once you get the profound Yang sword, leave the immortal form sect. The human race can't tolerate the demons. Qing Huajun stretched out his hand. The swords in the air turned into a fan and flew into Qing Huajun's hand. "You have the blood of the human race in your body. We are master and disciple. I won't kill you. I'll give you the fake profound Yang sword to deal with the demons. From now on, don't appear in the immortal form sect." Qing Huajun said indifferently. Ning Shu really wanted to slap his bare face. He clearly wanted her to take the profound Yang sword to deal with the demons. Yet, he said to let her go and even said that they were master and disciple. Ning Shu couldn't help but thank Qin Huajun. Thank you, master. This was sullen. Get out. Qin Huajun didn't look at Ning Shu. He waved his hand and the door opened. Ning Shu's body floated out of the hall. The moment she went out, her body was covered in cold sweat. The wind blew on her body and it was a little cold. Ning Shu shivered. Ning Shu went to her room and saw Yu Ling, holding a bucket and a ladle to water the flowers. Yu Ling, saw Ning Shu's pale face and quickly asked, "Senior sister, did master scold you?" "No, we just had a fight." "Senior sister, just listen to master's words. Don't take them to heart. He is not a decent person. He likes to torture his disciples." Yu Ling, comforted Ning Shu. Ning Shu's entire body felt weak. Every 2 steps he took, he could feel his bones cracking. He knew that it would hurt when the restrictive spell activated, but he did not expect it to be this painful. He decided to give Yu Ling, a perfunctory reply before returning to his room. Ning Shu opened his mouth and heard Qin Huajun's voice. "Yu Ling, have you finished watering the flowers?" Yu Ling's face turned ugly. She stomped her feet, picked up the bucket, and said to Ning Shu, "Senior sister, I'm going to water the flowers. Don't too much. If you delay any longer, even the tree will be watered." Qin Huajun transmitted his voice. Yu Ling, immediately picked up the bucket and began watering the flowers. Ning Shu returned to his room and sat cross-legged on his bed. He began to cultivate. As the spiritual energy flowed into his body, he felt much more comfortable. Ning Shu did not know when Qin Huajun would chase him away. Qin Huajun did not treat Ning Shu as his disciple. In the past, he would ask about Ning Shu's cultivation progress. Now, he ignored Ning Shu. Ning Shu guessed that Qin Huajun was rushing to make the mystic Yang sword. When the mystic Yang sword was completed, he would leave the immortal transformation sect. Ning Shu did not care. He shut himself in his room and cultivated. The spiritual energy in the Qinghua Peak was very dense. There should be a spiritual energy gathering array. Once he left the Qinghua Peak, he would not be able to find such a good cultivation environment. Ning Shu really wanted to absorb all the spiritual energy into his stomach. He did not want to leave any for Qin Huajun. Half a month later, the child came to find Ning Shu. "Fairy Xiao, the immortal wants you to go." Ning Shu tidied her clothes. She knew it was time to leave. She was not afraid of leaving the immortal transformation sect. She was only afraid that Qin Huajun would detain her in the Qinghua Peak. Once she left the immortal transformation sect, she would be free. When she arrived at the main hall, Ning Shu first bowed to Qin Huajun. Yu Ling, who was standing at the side, bowed to Ning Shu, "Senior sister." When Ning Shu saw Yu Ling, she was stunned. She hadn't seen Yu Ling for half a month, and she felt that Yu Ling had grown a lot taller. She was wearing a light green dress, and standing there, she looked very beautiful. Ning Shu returned the greeting, "Little junior sister." Qin Huajun took out a storage bag and gave it to Ning Shu. "The things you want are inside. Take care." Ning Shu caught the storage bag. It was not bad. He got a storage space for free. Qin Huajun was probably afraid that the sword on his back would be stolen by others. She was quite thoughtful. Ning Shu pursed his lips. "Thank you, master." Yu Ling was a bit confused. Seeing the storage space in Ning Shu's hand, she pouted and said, "Master is biased. You only gave a storage space for senior sister and not for me." Qin Huajun rolled her eyes at Yu Ling. A bracelet appeared in her hand. The bracelet had complicated patterns and looked very delicate. It looked like it was made of silver. "This is your storage space," Qin Huajun said. Yu Ling happily took the bracelet. She looked at it over and over again. When she wore it on her wrist, it made her slender wrist look even better. "This needs to be refined. It's not yours just to wear it." Qin Huajun saw that Yu Ling liked the bracelet. She smiled. "Why are you so stupid?" Ning Shu looked at his ragged bag and then looked at Yu Ling's bracelet. He really wanted to throw this bag at Qin Huajun's face. There would be no harm if there was no comparison. Alright, it's good to get a storage space for free. It's better if it's old. It won't attract attention. Ning Shu hung the storage space bag on his waist and bowed to Qing Huajun. Disciple thanks Master. I will definitely repay Master in the future. Qing Huajun didn't care. She just nodded with an indifferent expression. Ning Shu said, Disciple will leave now. Senior sister, where are you going? Yu Ling asked curiously. Qing Huajun coughed. I asked her to do something. I see. Yu Ling said to Ning Shu, Senior sister, be careful. Come back soon. Ning Shu said, Thank you. It's time to cultivate. What are you doing here? Qing Huajun sent Yu Ling away. Yu Ling curled her lips and said, Disciple will leave now. She didn't know what her master wanted to say to her senior sister. Yu Ling felt that the atmosphere between her master and her senior sister was very strange. She walked very slowly. She wanted to know what the two wanted. Qing Huajun waved her hand and sent Yu Ling out. She then closed the door. Yu Ling stood at the door. She felt a bit uncomfortable. What did she want to do? Why did she have to close the door? Ning Shu looked on silently. Qing Huajun really doted on Yu Ling. She left all the good things for Yu Ling. She was very considerate of Yu Ling. Yu Ling was a dual spirit root holder, but her talent was not outstanding. Qing Huajun spent a lot of effort to find heavenly materials and earthly treasures to refine Yu Ling's bones and marrow, allowing Yu Ling to become a single spirit root holder. But Yu Ling was a person who was slow in love. She always felt that her master liked to tease her. She always found all kinds of things to torture her. When Yu Ling grew up and became stronger, the two of them became Dao companions. The little white rabbit was eaten by the old fox. Chapter 670. Who placed this restriction on you? Qing Huajun asked Ning Shu. It was my father. Ning Shu said. Give the fake profound yang sword to a higher level demon and let him remove the restriction on you. Then leave the demon race. If you stay with the demon race, you will be devoured sooner or later. Qing Huajun said calmly. Not only did the demon race need to devour the essence of humans, but they would also devour their own race to strengthen themselves. When Ning Shu heard Qing Huajun telling him to choose a higher-level demon race, it was obvious that he wanted to plot against a higher-level demon race. Ning Shu nodded and said, Disciple will remember. Qing Huajun waved his hand indifferently. Go, don't come back. Ning Shu bowed. Disciple will take his leave. Qing Huajun called out to Ning Shu. Ning Shu's heart skipped a beat. He didn't want anything else to happen. He forced himself to calm down and asked Qing Huajun, Master, is there anything else? Can disciple stay? Qing Huajun's expression cracked. You have demonic energy in your body. How can you stay in the immortal transformation sect? Let me ask you, what cultivation method do you cultivate? Damn, he wants my peerless martial art. Ning Shu said, Disciple cultivates the earth element cultivation method Master gave me. Qing Huajun sneered. Do you think I don't know what an earth element cultivation method looks like? Ning Shu pursed his lips and knelt down to Qing Huajun. Disciple cultivates the demon race cultivation method. As long as Master is willing to let disciple stay, disciple is willing to give up the cultivation method. Qing Huajun's expression was indifferent. It was impossible to tell what he was thinking. He waved his hand. Go. Ning Shu's face was filled with disappointment. He climbed up from the ground and left the hall, Qing Huajun, and the immortal transformation sect. Ning Shu raised her middle finger in the direction of Qinghua Peak. Once I'm strong enough, I'll definitely come back to beat you up. I'll press my hand on your head and unscrupulously charge my qi into your danton to take a look. However, after leaving the immortal form sect, Ning Shu suddenly didn't know where to go. Naturally, she couldn't return to the demon race. Her current strength was far inferior to that cheap demon father of hers. Xiao Susu's father was a demon general, which was equivalent to the soul formation stage of the human race, which was the same level as Qing Huajun. Right now, she couldn't even defeat Qing Huajun, let alone her devil father. Moreover, the devil race's cultivation method was sinister and treacherous, making it hard for people to guard against. She also couldn't go to a crowded town. Soon, her restriction would activate again. If she went to a crowded place, she would definitely be discovered. She couldn't guarantee that she wouldn't be discovered by other cultivators. If she was discovered, there would be no less trouble. They would definitely chase after her and shout to kill her. At this moment, Ning Shu truly felt that there was no place for him in this vast world. Forget it, I'll just go to a place with fewer people. Moreover, the further away from the immortal form sect, the better. Ning Shu planned to fight for territory with the demonic beasts and slowly cultivate. Ning Shu went to the mystic spiritual mountain range, which was known as one of the 5 great danger zones. It was an endless forest with all kinds of demonic beasts resting in it. Although it was dangerous, it was favored by cultivators. There were many demonic beasts here. If they needed to concoct pills or craft magic tools, they would come here to find materials. Ning Shu found the direction and ran quickly towards the mystic spiritual mountain range. Meanwhile, in the main hall of Qinghua Peak, Qinghuajun's heart tightened. Cultivators were able to communicate with the heavens and earth. They were able to sense danger and had a bad feeling. Qinghuajun regretted letting them go. He had never seen any devil who practiced this kind of cultivation method. Qinghuajun instantly left the main hall and went out of the immortal form sect. He chased in the direction of the demon race. After flying for a long time, he still didn't see Ning Shu. Qinghuajun felt even worse. He regretted letting him go. With his strength, he wouldn't be able to run very fast. Qinghuajun chased for such a long time. He stood in the air and looked around. In the end, he gave up. She didn't even return to the demon race. Qinghuajun was speechless. He had always been the one tricking others. He didn't expect that he would be tricked one day. He just didn't know if that person would bring the mystic Yang sword back to the demon race. Qinghuajun turned and returned to the immortal form sect. However, he still felt uncomfortable in his heart. Ning Shu ran further and further away from the demon race. She felt that it was safer, so she slowed down. When she was hungry, Ning Shu took out a fasting pill to eat. She cultivated as she walked. Indeed, the spiritual energy outside couldn't be compared to Qinghua Peak. However, when she cultivated, the spiritual energy would gather around her. The effect was not bad. Until now, Ning Shu still didn't know why her cultivation speed was so fast. This made her feel terrified. Everything had a reason. Nothing happened for no reason. Ning Shu tried to let herself fly. However, she couldn't fly in the air. She could only walk on her 2 feet. Occasionally, she would encounter demonic beasts. Ning Shu would directly clench her fists and fight the demonic beasts head-on. Her strength was so great that she could directly kill the demonic beasts. She was barehanded. However, when she was lazy, she would release the coiling dragon energy in her dantian. The coiling dragon's body would start to turn yellow. It would roar and rush out to fight with the demonic beasts. If she encountered a weaker demonic beast, the coiling dragon would directly crush the demonic beast with its claws. Ning Shu was covered in blood. Ning Shu was dumbfounded. This was too powerful. However, the coiling dragon energy couldn't last more than a few moves in front of Qinghuajun. It was obvious that these demonic beasts, who only knew how to cultivate and had low intelligence, were too weak. Ning Shu would also keep any treasures she encountered. These were all resources. When she passed by a town, she could exchange them for spirit stones. However, Ning Shu felt that she kept on encountering treasures. These treasures were getting more and more precious. Although they were guarded by demonic beasts, she could still kill the demonic beasts and take the treasures into her pocket. Ning Shu's heart was about to break down. She wasn't the main character. Even the bird eggs she picked up were phoenix eggs. She was just cannon fodder. How could she encounter so many treasures? Could it be that she was giving away treasures to others? Until Ning Shu encountered something. She completely cried. A few grains of star sand were placed in the middle of the road. Star sand. Star sand. This was what the silver-haired man needed. Ning Shu estimated that she would have to do a lot of missions to encounter this. However, she didn't expect to encounter it so quickly. Ning Shu suspected that she was dreaming. Ning Shu casually walked towards the star sand and stepped on it with her foot. She looked left and right and wondered if someone had deliberately thrown it away. Ning Shu wiped her tears and picked up the star sand. She told 2333 to keep it. Since she encountered it, there was no need to let it go. 2333, I almost peed myself. What's going on? Ning Shu asked 2333 in her heart. She was really dumbfounded. 2333 was also dumbfounded. Let me check for you. Ning Shu was terrified. What the hell was going on? This was the treatment that only the main character would receive. Xiao Susu was a very pitiful existence. Why was it that when it came to her, her cultivation was like cheating? It was too unreal. There was no such thing as a free gift in the world. There must be a conspiracy. Chapter 671. 2333 went to check what was going on. Ning Shu had been waiting. He was leaning against a tree, and there was a red fruit hanging on the tree. Ning Shu rolled his eyes. The water cloud fruit that could cleanse one's muscles and marrow. Ning Shu didn't want to pick it. He sat down and saw a blade of grass shaking in front of him. It looked like a ginseng. Ning Shu closed his eyes and asked, "How's the investigation going?" 2333 said, "I've checked. This world is very normal. The other mission takers didn't encounter a situation like yours." Good things jumped into his arms. Ning Shu, so tired. Ning Shu stood up and patted the dust on his butt. He was too lazy to take the water cloud fruit on his head and the ginseng on the ground. He would leave them for the faded ones. The storage space that Qin Huajun gave her could no longer hold anything. It meant that she was not fated with these things. How many years did it take for these treasures to form? She had already gotten so much. She couldn't take any more. Also, Ning Shu felt very strange. The situation was very strange. What if it was a trap? I can't be greedy. Not only did he have a cheat to increase his cultivation speed, but he could also get good things wherever he went. This was the treatment of a main character. When was it her turn? Ning Shu was too lazy to fight monsters. He didn't even look at the good things that he saw. When he reached the small town, he used some things to exchange for spirit stones and bought some clothes. After walking for a long time, Ning Shu finally arrived at the Mystic Spirit Mountain Range. From afar, the Mystic Spirit Mountain Range seemed to be shrouded in smoke. There was a small town not far from the Mystic Spirit Mountain Range. This small town was very prosperous. Ning Shu hadn't eaten hot food for a long time. He was about to go to the restaurant to eat something. There were all kinds of demonic beast meat in the restaurant. They used all kinds of cooking methods to make the demonic beast meat delicious. Also, the demonic beast meat contained spiritual energy that could nourish and strengthen the cultivator's body. In this world, the big fish ate the small fish. The human race hated the demon race for absorbing the essence of the human race, but the human race still ate the demonic beasts. The strong were respected. Only the strong could control their own fate and not become a stepping stone for others. Ning Shu walked into the restaurant, ordered some dishes and waited for the waiter to serve them. There were many cultivators in the restaurant, but Ning Shu did not look around. Instead, he wanly sized up the others. The world of cultivation was cruel. Some cultivators had very strange tempers. Perhaps a look or a sentence could cause a fight. If you have anything good on you, just wait to be killed and robbed. She had just walked in when she felt a spiritual consciousness sweep over her body, but it was quickly retracted. Ning Shu felt that someone was staring at him. He turned his head to see who was staring at him. When he saw this person, Ning Shu was stunned. This person had a head of dark green hair and wore green clothes. He sat on the bench and looked at Ning Shu. His eyes were slightly blue and glittering. She was good-looking, but her aesthetic sense was a little abnormal. She had green hair and wore green clothes. It was a little hot to the eyes. The problem was that this person was obviously not a human. The demon race was also not like him. Could it be that he was a demonic beast in human form? Since when did demonic beasts have such an IQ? Weren't demonic beasts ignorant and stupid? How could they live among humans? There was a demonic beast sitting here, but these cultivators actually ignored him and did not attack him. No one sat around him. Obviously, they did not want to get close to him. Ning Shu saw that this person kept staring at her, unable to take his eyes off her. She felt bitter in her heart. Only the female lead could attract a handsome man. Could it be that by adding 6 points to charm, she could immediately attract the attention of handsome men? Then why did she add so many attribute points to wisdom, but her IQ did not increase by leaps and bounds? Ning Shu touched her storage space. Could it be that he saw that she had a lot of treasures in her bag? Wanted to kill her and steal her treasures? When the dishes were served, Ning Shu picked up the chopsticks to eat. He felt that this person's gaze was still staring at him. Look at your sister. Ning Shu cursed in his heart. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw that the person was actually walking towards him. Ning Shu, get lost, get lost. This demonic beast man sat opposite Ning Shu. Seeing that Ning Shu had ordered a table full of fish and meat, he said, "You like to eat meat?" His voice was very pleasant and gentle. Just by listening to his voice, one would not think that this person was a manic demonic beast. Could it be that he was a hairdresser and his hair was dyed? Ning Shu's hair stood on end. He felt that the person opposite him was very strong. He did not speak. "Do you want to drink?" The demonic beast man took out a water bag. Ning Shu, were they close? Not close. Are you trying to hit on me? Ning Shu really wanted to kick this person in front of him. Was his charm that strong? Anyway, everything was not normal. Everything was not normal. Then you want to drink? The man took the water bag and filled Ning Shu's cup with water. Ning Shu looked at him sideways and did not speak. Drink. The man smiled slightly. If it wasn't for his green hair, Ning Shu would have thought that he was a gentle and refined scholar. He had a poetic charm, but he had a more indifferent and distant temperament than a scholar. He was neither arrogant nor impatient. Ning Shu was a little doubtful. Was this person really a demonic beast? But this was aesthetic. One should not hit a smiling face. Ning Shu picked up the teacup and smelled it. There was a salty and wet smell. Could it be poisonous? Ning Shu glanced at this man. He had an elegant smile on his face. Ning Shu took a sip and his face turned green. He looked at him and asked, "This is salt water?" The man said, "To be precise, it's seawater." Ning Shu, what a weirdo. Drinking seawater. "I'm Qingyu. What's your name?" Qingyu asked Ning Shu. Ning Shu said, "Xiao Su Su." Qingyu frowned and asked, "Is that your real name?" Ning Shu nodded. Ning Shu drank a mouthful of seawater. He couldn't spit it out in front of Qingyu. He felt that he was going to die, so he kept drinking water. Qingyu's expression was a little confused. When he frowned, he seemed to be in a daze. He fell into a state of emptiness. "Why are you looking for me?" Ning Shu went straight to the point. Qingyu came back to his senses and smiled. He asked, "Where are you going?" "I'll go with you." Pooh, cough, cough, cough. Ning Shu choked on his tears. He was very shocked. Ning Shu's face twitched. When did she have the charm to make people fall in love at first sight? And Qingyu didn't have any feelings for her at all. Why did he want to follow him? Why? Ning Shu controlled his urge to roll his eyes. "I want to pursue the great Tao." Qingyu said, "What does that have to do with me?" Ning Shu rolled his eyes. "I feel that your soul is very familiar. We should have met before." Qingyu said, "Wasn't this hitting on him? Could it be that in the cultivation world, hitting on people using soul familiarity? We haven't met before." "We have. We haven't met before." "We have." "Then fucking tell me where we met before." Ning Shu chanted the clear heart mantra in his heart. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.